Archon, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the 12 tribes, Yasha Allah, giving the course, all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh. Bahashima Masha, Wamalaki Habashah, that's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh. In the name of His own begotten Son, Habashah, this is Brother Yasha Allah.
Brother Abayu.
Come back to yet another video through the Spirit of Yahweh, Bahashima Masha, Wamalaki Habashah. Lord willing, all Israel has been enduring through the Spirit. Shabbat Shalom to all Israel that's keeping it, observing it this day, Friday sundown and Saturday sundown. All right, with myrrh and all joyfulness and gladness, all right, to the Spirit. And also shout out to Brother Abaya, to the right of me, Brother Abaya. He has a YouTube as well as an Instagram, and so you can check out his pages through the Spirit. A lot of good edification on there. And hey, this is my fellow soldier in the Spirit. Yahweh Bashma Shop, woman like Yahweh Shop, huh? All right, so Khan, all praise to the Most High, all praises. So Khan, so going straight into it, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be breaking down Isaiah the 13th chapter. All right, Isaiah the 13th chapter, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Nabashah. So I just want to get this opening precept real quick, and the brother can get his opening precept if he wants as well. Basically, why we're going into this, man, and we're not going to go into what kind of shoes Esther wore. All right, we're not going to go into you know what I'm saying, who's the best Chicago rapper. All right, we're not going to make a live about that. We're not going to make a live about vanity. You know what I'm saying? God forbid we do that, bro. We're going to make lives and videos about edification, things that actually matter. Breaking down Isaiah 13. You know what I'm saying? Breaking down these various things so that our people can know. All right, so I got two quick precepts. Let's go to the book of Sirach 39 and 1, the classic. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, that's something that we also had to be studying as well, the laws of the Most High. Because that's what's going to get you saved, man. Right? The Lord said in the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 16, all right, contrary to what the world believes, all right, Matthew 19 to 16 through 17, the Lord said, if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. All right? So that's what's going to give us eternal life, man. Keeping the commandments. Not binge watching Netflix, not playing video games. That's not going to give us eternal life. We have to keep the commandments, right? It says what? And is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out all the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So the wise man is also going to be occupied in prophecies. So we have to be occupied in prophecies as well, seeing what times we are living in, man. We're living it during the time of many prophecies being unfolded before our eyes. So let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1. All right, 2nd Ezra 15, verse 1, and now I'll pass it. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So the Lord said, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. That's the words that we have to speak unto them. That's what the Lord commanded the prophets, the words of prophecy, because that's what the prophets speak. They don't speak, you know what I'm saying, like we keep saying, folly and vanity. They speak the words of prophecy. And where are the words of prophecy found? It's not found in the Quran. It's not found in the book of the dead. It's found right here. You know what I'm saying? In this Bible. All right. So we have to speak unto them the words of prophecy. Verse 2, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. These words are faithful and true, and they're coming to pass before our very eyes. So Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Like your brother said, we're going to go into prophecy, man, because it's important. Yeah, it's good to get the milk of the scriptures, the bread, the wine, but also you got to go into the meat, the prophecy, man. Knowing what's about to come on the earth, whether it be famine, whether it be plagues, whether it be pestilence, the famine of the word, all the wild beasts, all these different things in Jacob's trouble. We have to know what order, the chronological of order, how Babylon going to get destroyed and things in that nature, so we can have a good idea, things in that nature, what's going to happen in the future. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua, worshiping God. For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So you have the testimony of Yahushua. Everybody always asks you, what's your testimony? What did you go through? I'm not about to tell you my testimony. The real testimony of God, of Yahushua, is the spirit of prophecy, man. That's the real testimony. Going out there on the highways and byways, shaking a hand. You may be reading Isaiah 13, Isaiah 14, Jeremiah 51, Daniel chapter 10, Daniel chapter 11, Daniel chapter 12, Daniel chapter 9, Matthew 24, Luke, all these different things, Luke 21, Mark 13, all these different things, man. It goes into prophecy in the end days, man. That's what the Lord's dealing with. Again, like I said, there's nothing wrong with going to the milk, but it's a just balance, man. The baby has to grow up anytime, sometime soon. You're not gonna have a baby who's a baby forever. They grow and grow and grow. You once was a baby, but now you grew, and now guess what? You diving into that steak, man. Well done steak, right? Because even your house shot too, he was known as a prophet. That's Luke 24 and verse 19. But let me get one more precept. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 2. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books. So even Daniel was in that thing, man. He was in scriptures going to and fro, understanding by books. He was reading, studying, on fire. Even though he was in the king's court as a eunuch. And he must be busy, man, serving the king. But yet he always made time to go into the book and to search out prophecy. Right? It says, in the first year of his reign, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he will accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem. So even Daniel and our forefathers, that was in prophecy. Abraham was in prophecy, Isaac, Jacob, they all, even Samuel, man, David, they all prophesied through the Spirit, what should come to pass, before and now. But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, that's right, man. And you even read about in the book of Paul's epistles, the Lord, Paul talking about where in time past the prophets also prophesied, man. Because guess what? That's what Paul that's what Christians fail to understand. The people of the New Testament, the apostles, the disciples of Yahweh Shai, they didn't study each other's epistles, man. You know what I'm saying? Peter wasn't going around breaking down, First John, Second John, Third John. Not saying that we shouldn't read that, but I'm just saying, they weren't going around and reading that stuff, man. They were reading the law and the prophets. You see that? And so that's how they had that wisdom, knowledge, understanding, plus what? The faith of the Lord, the faith of Yahweh. You see that? So, which made it what? Perfected, right? So, that's what we have to be diving into, because we see that also the prophets, what I'm saying? So like the apostles also dived into the prophecies as well. And they understood the prophecies, man. And there's so many prophecies in the Old Testament. All right. It's like all throughout the scriptures for real. Right. And we also know that Revelation is a whole book of prophecy. It's a whole book of prophecy. So we understand that prophecy is all throughout the Bible. All right. So come. Hey, come. Without further ado, yeah, anything else on that, King? All right, come. So yeah, we can get straight into the Isaiah chapter 13. All right.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye.
Oh, Slakia. Now you can keep going, come. So yeah, this is concerning Babylon. All right. So initially, first of all, Babylon was the actual kingdom, right? Slakia, I just want to say this. Babylon was the actual kingdom. All right. It was the actual kingdom that actually ruled. So let's just look it up real quick. All right, Babylon. So let's look this up real quick. And it's an actual place. It was an actual place in so-called modern day Iraq. So Babylon, right? It was an empire. Babylon was the capital city of the ancient Babylonian Empire, which itself is a term referring to either of two separate empires in the Mesopotamian area in antiquity, right? These two empires achieved regional dominance between the 19th and 15th century BC, and again between the 7th and 6th century BC. So we're talking about the 7th and 6th century BC one. Right? We're not talking about the one back in Genesis. All right, we're talking about the one, all right, that Isaiah and Daniel and Ezekiel and such other prophets were living during that time of its reign. All right, so basically, Babylon, and you can read about this yourself. You can read it all throughout Daniel. You can read it in Ezekiel. You can read about it, all throughout the scriptures. This actual Babylonian empire that actually ruled, man. And Salakia. So yeah, you can actually read this for yourself. All right, and we understand that the first one over the Babylonian Empire during this time, or during this time, because there's also other Babylonian empires, but during this time was who? Well, one of the great ones was Nebuchadnezzar the second. All right, let's look him up real quick, and he's really renowned amongst the Babylonians or the Babylonian kings. He was one of the longest reigning kings, actually, of the child, as they say, of the Chaldean dynasty. All right, so you can actually read about him as well. But Isaiah, he received a burden meaning a vision, all right, a vision, a prophecy, whatnot. He received a vision about the fall of Babylon. Okay, and we're going to understand, and as we go through this chapter, though initially is talking about the first Babylon, right? We also understand that it's also talking about a more spiritual Babylon, right? Because remember, not all the prophecies that Isaiah saw was just about the kingdom at that time, right? We understand that there is actually a new Babylon and a spiritual Babylon, right? And that's Babylon the Great. So this vision actually, when you go through it, is really talking about this new Babylon, right? Babylon the Great. We're going to show you through the precepts and through the Spirit. All right, so come,
I got to preach this real quick. Yeah, when
come.
you read the Bible, a lot of people don't understand how the Bible covers like everything. It covers everything. People think it's a fairy tale, everything's made up, but they don't actually read it and actually know what's going on. They don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding or any spiritual insight, on the Bible. But the Lord knows what He's talking about. But I'm gonna get this real quick. And Daniel chapter 7, and I'll start at verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. So Daniel was in Babylon and he was in the Persian and Medes kingdom. He was in both, right?
Come.
Going to the history and the biblical readings. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'll keep reading verse 2. Daniel's I'm just straight down to the point, actually, Salaki. Daniel 7, verse 17. These great beasts, which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. Now, it's not actual literal kings like King David and things of that nature. It means kingdoms. You had the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and then you had the Romans, right? When you go into the history, everything falls in line with the Bible. So the Bible covers all of that. Like your brother was going into the history of Babylon. They call it the Neo-Babylon Empire. Because like the brother
Yeah.
said, you had a Babylon already before, with Nimrod and things of that nature. That's like ancient Babylon, but over time they build things back up. Then you got something called the Neo Babylon, and things of that nature. But let me get one more precept. This is the book of Salakia. History of Bel and the Dragon in the Apocrypha in verse, let me see, in verse 35. I'll start at verse 33, and it reads, Now there was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk, and we all know the book of Habakkuk, who had made a pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said to Habakkuk, Go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon, unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. So you even have certain prophets living around the time of Daniel, man. Right? It's not just one prophet living by himself. You have multiple prophets living around the same time. Like when you read Second Kings, Isaiah was in that thing. You have Obadiah in that thing too, man. And I believe First Kings, if I'm not mistaken, man. You have Obadiah in that thing too. So prophets live around the same time as each other. Like right now, you have prophets on the earth right now living amongst the same time. This is modern day Babylon. But that's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Khan, that's right. That is right, man. And the Lord does have prophets to live during the same time. You know, I want to find this precept that I believe the Lord even talks about in um a certain hold on, a certain verse, right? Basically talks about, I believe, the prophet Zechariah, right? Salakia. Like for example, even that Nehemiah and Ezra, they lived kind of around the same time. So the Lord will have prophets live around the same time, and also see the same visions as well. The Lord might even have, like, for example, Ezra, what I'm saying? He saw in the book of Second Ezra, the second chapter, he saw a vision that was like unto John the Revelator, to his vision in Revelation chapter 7, going into that great multitude, you know? So even them saw similar visions as well. All right. But yeah, Khan, just to expound what the brother was saying.
Con, I think you're looking for Second Chronicles 24 and verse 20.
Second Chronicles. Khan, bring it out, King.
Con, Second Chronicles chapter 24 and verse. And the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada, the priest, which stood above the people, and said unto them, Thus saith God, why transgress ye the commandments of the Lord, that ye can prosper, because you have forsaken the Lord, he hath also forsaken you.
Khan, you see that? So yeah, we even see Khan the water for that. We even see Zechariah mentioned in the book of Second Chronicles. I believe you can find Isaiah, you know what I'm saying? And Slocky, let me check that real quick. Right. You can even find Isaiah, Slocky, Jeremiah. You can find Jeremiah being mentioned in the book of Second Chronicles, the last chapter, chapter 36, man. You know, so you can read about these prophets in other places as well. All right, but Khan. We can go back to that though.
All right, come. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, and verse 2. Lift you up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Right. So the Lord said, shake the hand, man. Shake the hand, exalt the voice unto them. Right. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, and verse 1. You know, the Lord said, exalt the voice. And when we're out there, that's what we do. We shake the hand, we prophesy, and we exalt the voice. You know, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, and verse 1, right? And it reads, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression in the house of Jacob their sins. The Lord always wanted our people, or basically the prophets, to exalt their voice, to get the message across. Because that's what Yahweh Shah had to do as well. He had to exalt his voice onto the thousands and multitudes of people, right? He had to exalt his voice and to make his doctrine known among men, you know? So the Lord said, what? Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand. So we have to be shaking the hand, right? That's what the Lord told the prophets to do. He said, shake the hand, right? Khan, you got it, King.
Even Yahushua said that, he was bold. When he was speaking, he wasn't, timid, and things in that nature. He spake boldly, in front of everybody. And he wasn't scared, what people would say. He wasn't scared what would come upon him. Whatever he said, and guess what? He said. I'm looking for this one precept that I just read today in Luke, but I can't find it. I'm gonna have to get another precept until I find it. But I'm gonna go to what's called Second Corinthians real quick. This is book of Second Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 6. Bear with me. Second Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. But the whole point is, it says, but though I be rude in speech. Even Paul was really when you go into it, it really means something else, but on another fold too. Paul was out there actually shaking the hand. Why do you think he was always getting arrested? He was getting beat. People wanted to stone him. It gets real out there. If you actually teach on highways and byways, you know what goes on. You make your forehead strong against theirs. It's not always nice. Now, the Lord told us to be, harmless as a dove, and that's what we do. We're not out there looking for fights. But if it comes to us, we have to handle it and dismiss it, and things of that nature. So it gets bad out there, man. And people get very zealous, and things of that nature. So let me get this other precept real quick. I can find it. If not, then I'll let the brother get in there now. This is the book of John, chapter 7. I'll start at verse 25, and it reads, Then says some of them of Jerusalem, Is not this he whom they seek to kill? So these men, these Jews, people who had on fringes, people who knew the law, who probably had a tight mitre on. You can see that little vein in their head is pumping blood, but it pop out because the mitre is so tight. They had all these different things, man. They had all these. They knew the law, right? They knew about the prophecy. What Caiaphas, he knew about the prophecy, man. But these men sought to kill Yahushua. Now, why? What was Yahushua doing? Was Yahushua getting the love of the congregation? Was he trying to be? What was he trying to do, man? Was he being a coon? No, man. He was out there teaching and saying, "Thus saith the Lord." Right? Verse 26, John 7, verse 26. But lo, he speaketh boldly, and they say nothing unto him. Do the rulers know indeed that this is the very Christ? It says, but lo, he speaketh boldly, man. Meaning the brother was talking about it. You know, the brother made a good point. Even the apostles, man, the disciples, they were scared to ask him questions because Yahusha is very bold, man. When he spake with authority. He's not speaking how I'm speaking. He doesn't speak how this brother speak. When he speak like he's basically yelling. Because even when you go to Revelation, it's like the voice of many waters. Let me get that precept real quick. Let me pass it. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 15. And his feet, everybody goes to this precept, but they don't really break down. Sometimes they don't break down the last verse or the last thing in this verse. And his feet, like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. You see that? That's the sound of many waters. That's a very deep voice. A loud, what's it called? I don't know, like a deep tone voice. So let me get one more precept too. Because I was reading Luke. You gotta understand, Yahushua went into a ship and he taught people, man. I believe that's in either Luke or Mark or Matthew. But he went to a ship and taught people, a whole multitude of people. So your voice have to be deep and loud enough to teach a lot of people, man. You know? But Khan, you got it, King Salaki.
Khan, oh yeah, that's exactly right, King. You know what I'm saying? Khan, I got this precept too. In John chapter 7, all right, in verse number 36, it says, what manner of man, Slaki, what manner of saint is this that he said, ye shall seek me and shall not find me, and where I am, thither ye cannot come. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahweh stood and cried, saying, so he stood and cried out. You know what I'm saying? A cry out or a cry is not going into, him shedding tears, right? A crying out is basically a yelling, a shouting. You know what I'm saying? It says, and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. So he was crying this out, man. He was yelling this so that everybody could hear, right? Because remember, like how the brother said, there's thousands of people following Yahweh Shah, man. Into the ship, Matthew chapter 5, you sat down and there was a multitude of people, right? You even read about, you know what I'm saying? There was so many people, like how you read in the book of Luke, there's so many people that Yahweh Shah didn't even know who touched him because there was so many people of a multitude thronging him, man. You know what I'm saying? Meaning what? Getting hella close to him. Like he was Michael Jackson, you know? It's crazy. So you had to speak loudly. And if you couldn't hear, you know what I'm saying? You had to kind of move up. But hey, Yahweh Shah was speaking loud, right? Also, let's get this precept too, right? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 12. And verse number 27, it says, now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour, but for this cause I came unto this hour. Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. Man, precept right there, right? But here's the point though, verse 29. The people therefore that stood by and heard it said that it thundered. So you know how loud thunder is, man, right? Thunder is hella loud. But guess what? This is the Most High talking from the heavens. And people said, what the hell was that? Was that thunder? Right? No, it wasn't thunder. It was the Most High, right? It says, and others said, an angel spake unto him. So even if this might have been an angel, coming in to deliver the message unto the people from the Father, right, from the Most High, guess what? The angels, they even speak with authority, man. Yahweh Shah, he spake with authority. The angels speak with authority. The Most High speaks with authority. And they exalt the voice, man. So how much more the disciples of the Lord? How much more, I'm saying, the servants of the Lord, right? And the Lord even said that it is a good thing, or kind of roughly paraphrasing, it is a good thing, I'm saying, that the servant be as his master. You see that? So if Yahweh Shah was walking around, deep voice, as a brother brought out, loud voice, because it's like the sound of many waters, right? You go to Niagara Falls, that's the sound of many waters. That's many waters falling down. It's a waterfall, and it's hella loud. I haven't been there myself, but that's what everybody says. That is hella loud. So Yahweh Shah was like that as well. So the Lord said, exalt the voice, you know, because who's going to take you seriously? For real. You go out there, you know what I'm saying? You have your fringes on, you have the signs, the posters, you have everything that you need. You got the apocryphas, you got the KJVs, you got the maps, you know what I'm saying? The dates, the charts, timelines. We have everything at hand, you know, but you just quietly, hey, got a minute? Got a minute? Right? Bring that precept out. And y'all just like, damn, whispering the precepts. Y'all are whispering. Nobody's going to take you seriously. Nobody's going to come up. Nobody's even going to hear what you're saying, man. Because remember, when we're prophesying, we're not prophesying inside the house, right? We're just shaking the hand inside the house, right? Out our window, just shaking the hand. No, we're outside in the elements where there's cars passing by. You know what I'm saying? And back in the ancient world, in Isaiah's time, chariots, you know what I'm saying, going on the street, right? Horses, people shouting, you know, people talking. Probably had crazy people back then too, you know, shouting for no reason, right? You know, you probably had that going on as well. So outside, you know, outside in the elements, you had to exalt your voice. All right, so Khan.
Kind of got one more precept on that. Really two, even in Deuteronomy, but it might be one so far. But when you read Exodus, people forget about this. When you read Exodus, the Lord was actually giving the Ten Commandments first when speaking. The first Ten Commandments. Then He used Moses as a vessel to give the rest of the commandments to the people, as a mediator. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20. I'll start verse 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said to Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And hey, the Most High was speaking in Hebrew. And the Hebrew is very straight to the point and very scary when speaking, especially with authority, man. That Hebrew got power behind it. So when you hear the Most High speaking loudly, aggressively, with authority and straight to the point, man, that's scary, man. These people told Moses, "Hey, we want you to speak to us. We don't want the Most High God to speak to us." Man, it was very scary. Even told you in Deuteronomy, the Lord was speaking about it. He said, "The people basically said the people they said something good." I got it right here. That's Deuteronomy 18, and I started verse 16. And it reads, according to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of thy assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken, man. You see that? So the Most High, they said well, because I had a few things to say about them, and things of that nature. So kind of Most High speak with authority, your house shall speak with authority, and the apostles as well. But
Khan, that's right. That's right. Khan. I just got one more precept on that. Right. Khan. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, and verse number 8. It says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. So you have the souls of the just up there with the Most High, and they complain continually, man. You even have the souls of the just down here, and they're complaining continually to the Lord. And the Lord even said in the book of Job, chapter 7, that I was speaking in the anguish of my spirit. So when we go out there and prophesy and shake the hand, we're speaking in the anguish of our spirit, man. We're bringing out these prophecies in hope that when we prophesy against this wicked kingdom, it may be thrown down by Yahweh Shem Shah. So when you speak in the anguish of your spirit, you're not whispering, right? When you're mad about something, you're passionate about something, you're mad, you're damn angry, anguish in your spirit, you just got to get something out. Hey, guess what? You're yelling, bro. You are yelling. You're exalting a voice. So that goes a lot into, what I'm saying, basically being in the spirit, right? Being in the spirit. Because that's also walking in the spirit, man. Actually just prophesying, shaking the hand. right? Preaching the word. All right, so come
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Yeah, so on the initial fold, that's going into the armies, man. You know, and the Lord even calls these armies that's coming against Babylon his sanctified ones and his mighty ones, right? For his anger. Because remember, the Lord, he uses instruments to punish things. All right. So just like how he used the nations to punish us, guess what? He's going to use the nations, right? And Esau's own devices to punish him. Right? He's going to use, for example, as we say, according to biblical prophecy, Russia is going to destroy America, man. So he's going to use another nation to destroy America, right? He's going to use, you know what I'm saying, the devices that Esau has even created to destroy himself, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms real quick. All right, let's go to Psalms. Try to find the precept real quick. Right, Slovakia, Psalms chapter right, I got this precept like Isaiah. No, I'll get this one. Psalms chapter 141 and verse 10. It says, right, let the wicked fall. I'm sorry, verse 9. It says, keep thee from the snare which they have laid for me, and the grins, right, or the grinds of the workers of iniquity. So the Lord is saying, or basically David, rather, he's saying, keep me from the snare which they have laid for me. Guess what? Esau, he lays a lot of snares for us, for the children of Israel. There's snares all around us. You know, the clubs, that's a snare onto you, man. It's a trap to make you fall in love with Babylon. You know, that damn harlot that the Lord, that Satan set against you. Guess what? That's a snare onto us, man. Right? Anything to entrap us and make us love America. You know, Babylon always puts that thing out there, man. You know, this good job. What about the cars? What about the women? What about the this is and that? What about becoming a NFL player and the glory? You know what I'm saying, of that, and the money, stuff like that. Those are all snares onto us, right? So we want to pray that the Lord keeps us from the snares which they have laid for us, because these same snares that Esau has put in front of us to kind of to entrap Israel, he's going to be affected by those own snares. He's going to be entrapped in his own snares, in his own traps, right? Imagine that. And it says, in the grins of the works of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, while list that I withal escape. You see that? So the righteous, they're going to escape World War III. They're going to escape the thermonuclear fire. All right? They're going to escape that. But guess what? The wicked, they're going to fall by their own nets. They're going to fall by their own devices. Esau, he created the atomic bomb, man. He created all these nuclear missiles and the ICBMs. He's blessed with a sword. But guess what? Those very same things that he created is going to destroy, right? So, Khan, you got it.
Got this one precept to show. The Lord be using, different nations, certain people. The Lord uses these heathens for certain actions, then he get done away with them. The Lord can do whatever you want to do. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and verse 5. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. So the Lord used the Assyrians to punish the Israelites, man, the northern kingdom. He uses the Babylonians to punish the Israelites, the southern kingdom. Right now he's using the so-called white man to punish us. It's like his belt, for lack of better terms, or a punishment. These nations were really created, to be our downfall, to punish us, to put us in slavery when we go off. But then they were also created to be our slaves too. Right, verse 6. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. I'm gonna get another precept. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 14. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and they shall serve him, and I have given him the beasts of the field also. So even the Lord set Nebuchadnezzar for a time and for a season, to reign all the nations round about at the appointed time, man. The Lord set these nations up. It's not coincidence or through their own will they get to rule forever and ever. It's through the Most High God, because the Lord, He's the one translating the kingdom from one person to another. That's in let's get that real quick. That's even in Sirach chapter 10. The Lord's the one who makes people rule. When the Israelites were ruling, the Lord did that. When we fell to the Babylonians, the Lord did that. To the Assyrians, the Lord did that. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10. You can really start at verse 8 all the way down. But Sirach 10 and verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And all throughout history, you can see that. I'm going to jump down to verse 14. The Lord hath cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. The Lord hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. So like I was saying before, the Lord, He's the one using certain people, that the sanctified ones right here, like your brother saying, or the armies that's about to come against Babylon, if I'm not mistaken. The Lord's going to use them to take down Babylon. The same way how the Lord's going to use the 10 horns to take down America. Let me get that preacher real quick too. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17. Let me see. It's verse 17 and verse 16. And it reads, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. You see that? So the Lord put it in certain people's heart just so he can fulfill the will of his, man. If it's time for the Babylonians, the modern day Babylonians, the so-called white men to go down, guess what? The Lord's going to do it, because the Lord's controlling everything. When all that stuff happened in Beirut with the explosion, when the things happened in Ukraine, the Lord's in control of all that, man. Let me get one more precept, Salaki. Let's go to Proverbs 21 and verse 1. And it reads, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. So everything that's happening on the earth, the Lord's doing it, man. He's controlling the spirits. Everywhere you go, the Lord controls that. When you get jumped and kicked that camp, the Lord did that, man. When you're on fire, the Lord did that. And again, chiefly, when you go on World War III happening, ICBM missiles happening, the Lord's doing all that, man. But Khan, you got the king.
God. God. Yeah, we're not dealing with folly right now. We're not dealing with folly. So that's crazy. When did Jesus ever say he was God? I like to see that precept. You know, I like to see that precept. But anyway, you know, Esau doesn't have no time to talk. Allah said the Lord Jesus to you. Madness. Yeah, we're not doing madness right now. Anyway, right? Anyway, but Khan, exactly right. No, that's exactly right. Because let's go to the book of Jeremiah, right? Chapter 50 and verse 3, right? Yeah, you getting blocked. You getting blocked right now. Yeah, you getting blocked right now. Got your ass out of here, boy. All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 3. These Christians don't want to debate. If you really want to debate, comment on my channel right now. If you really want to debate. Because hey, this brother already knows I love talking about that. Right? Am I kidding? Hey, I love talking about that, right? But right now, it's not the time and the place. We trying to edify the people, trying to prophesy. Right. So if you really want to debate, right, and you're not scared, you comment on my channel right now. All right, we'll set it up in spirit. All right. So come, but yeah, let's go. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse number 2. right? So yeah, Khan, exactly right. The Lord, he sends nations, right, to basically punish other nations and to have the kingdom translate. You know what I'm saying? Like how the brother said, we see that all throughout history, right? We see that all throughout history. All right. So, going to what? The Babylonian Empire, right? You had the Babylonian Empire back then. But then guess what? The Persian and the Median Empire, right, under Cyrus the Great, as they say, Cyrus the Great conquered it. You know what I'm saying? They conquered it through the spirit. And then their kingdom was translated. So the land that they occupied, then the Persian and Median Empire occupied. And then they conquered other nations as well. So that's how it goes, man. And even I still remember this. My 10th grade teacher, history teacher, world history teacher, and he studies world history. All right, world history. And he has said that there was always a time in which there was a head nation. And then that head nation, its head basically got cut off. And then another head came. You see that? So that's how it works, man. One nation is the head for a certain period of time, and then it falls, and then there's another head. You see that? So that's how it goes. So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 2. Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is found, confounded, Medarach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. So the Lord, what I'm saying, he could have had his angels go in there into ancient Babylon and actually overthrow it. But that's not that, he didn't do that, right? He had another nation come and destroy Babylon. So he's going to have let's get that precept, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. That which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and God requireth that which is past. So the Most High requires that which is past. You see that? He brings to pass the things that were already it's like he brings about the things that's already been done, you know. So the history repeats itself. So we're looking at modern day Babylon, America. Guess what? America is not going to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like just out of nowhere. Just as the Lord, you know what I'm saying, just dropping a spiritual bomb from the third heavens and it's just destroying the whole of America. The Lord is actually going to have another nation destroy America, just like how in previous generations. You know what I'm saying? Con. Um, I had another precept for the spirit. Also, kind of going off what the brother was saying in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, and verse number Slakia, Deuteronomy chapter 28. Even going back to the curses, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. It says, the Lord shall send a nation against thee from far, right? From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fleeth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So it's the Lord that sends nations against certain nations, man. We understand this nation to be, on a very spiritual level. This talking about Esau being sent onto us, right? Because he was that nation from afar. He was that nation from the end of the earth that was as swift as the eagle flieth. And even his symbol, shows that he was that nation, man. Because his symbol is that eagle, you know. It says what? A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. We didn't understand English, French, German, Spanish. We don't know those languages. We don't know those tongues. Right? We speak the Lashwan Kadash. But when he was sent against us, guess what? Who sent us? Or who sent them? The Lord sent them. Huh? So the Lord can send certain nations against you, all right, to punish you. And come, let's get this last precept, Matthew chapter 24. Or actually, let me see. Isaiah chapter 21. Right. Isaiah chapter 21. Oh yeah, Con. I might save this precept though. Lucky, I might save this precept. Right, yeah, Con. I'm gonna say that precept. So yeah, we can keep going on that.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's look at Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
see that the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people. See that tumultuous noise. We read about that. Let's get the book of Isaiah, chapter 17, and verse 12. It says, "Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters." So it's talking about the nations. You see that? They shall rush like the rushing of many waters. They're going to come in, it's like a wave, like a sea. And we know that the nations is referred to as a sea, because there's a great multitude of them. But God shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind. So Isaiah, remember, he's seeing this vision and saying the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. They're gathered together. And why they gathered together, we understand that this is talking about what? One of the we see the similar language in the book of Joel, the third chapter. All right, let's go to Joel chapter 3 and verse number 11. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about." So we see that same type of exact language in the book of Isaiah chapter 13. It says, "A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle." So it's the Lord that brings about these soldiers together. It's not of man. It's of the Lord that brings these nations together and makes them to fight against each other, right? Whoever wins, that's of the Lord. Whoever loses, that's of the Lord. Everything is of the Lord, you know. And then it's like I'm gonna pass it, but I'm gonna keep going in Joel 3. It says, Joel 3 and 11, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen." Now remember, the Lord is not just saying this, just opening up the clouds and just saying this to the heathen. He's saying this basically kind of like, how can I explain this? Of course, he has Joel to prophesy this, but he's not saying this to every heathen that's walking upon the face of the whole earth. He's basically saying, like, yeah, let them come. And he's putting that thought in their mind. He's stirring up their spirit to do so. The brother brought out the good precept, Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth the whithersoever he will. We know that man's goings is of the Lord, and that there are many devices in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So basically, the Lord, and also I'm gonna get this precept real quick in the book of Amos. Whatever these kings of the earth do, guess what? They make that decision because the Lord make them. It's like the Lord makes them to make that decision. Whatever these kings of the earth do, guess what? Russia, Putin issuing out that order and that decree to invade Ukraine at that certain time, guess what? You might think that Putin, oh man, what is Putin thinking? Why is he doing it right now? Why doesn't he wait until 2024? Why didn't he do it before? You know what I'm saying? Hey, guess what? It's not a Putin, it's of the Lord, man. Put that spirit in Putin to do so. And he's going to put the spirit in whoever the Russian president is, right? To click on that red button and destroy America. He's going to do that. He's going to put that spirit in him. You can read about that also in the book of Revelation, the 16th chapter, when it talks about the spirit, right? The unclean spirits like frogs hopping on the nations, you know, and that's all sent by the Lord. But it's like, let me get this precept. Amos chapter 4 and verse number 13. "For lo, he that formeth the mountains and created the wind, and declareth unto man what is his thought." So the Lord declares unto man what is his thought. The thoughts that you think in the day, that's all from the Lord. "That maketh the morning darkness and treadeth upon the high places of the earth. Yahweh, the God of hosts, is his name." All right. So let's go to this real quick. Right. Salaki, give me a second.
While he's doing that, I'm get my precepts real quick. Yeah, like the brother was going into, he got the same language when it says the noise of a multitude. Now, when you read Joel chapter 3, it tells you multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. Because when World War III happens, you're going to have different battlefronts, like you had in World War One and World War Two. But then you had that main battlefront, where everything is taking place on a big level, like in Germany, things of that nature, or World War Two. That's going to be near Israel and towards really the Middle East and things of that nature. That's what's going to be happening at World War III. Now, this is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 13, and verse 5. So when you read Second Esdras 13, the Lord is making his second coming, right? And then you get into verse 5. And after this, I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So, you will have World War III escalating before the Lord returns. But in the peak of World War III, that's when the Lord's going to come. And at the peak of World War III, you're going to already have these nations already gathered together in the Middle East fighting each other. But while they fighting each other, the Lord's going to return. They're going to start fighting each other. And they're going to start fighting and attacking the most Yahweh and the angels and things in that nature. That's where Revelation chapter 12, and I believe it's verse, let me see, it's verse 7 comes into play when it says Michael and his angels versus Satan, something like that. Let me get that real quick. Revelation chapter 12, I believe it's verse 7 or 17, either one. I think it's 7 though. Revelation chapter 12 and verse, damn, my Bible jacked up, Salakia. Do you think you can pull that for me?
Con, what you need?
Revelation 12 and verse 7.
Con, it's the book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse 7. And it reads, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
Right. So when you read Isaiah chapter 13, even with any prophecy, it jumps in and out of time. Sometimes it's talking about, the actual Babylon back then that happened, and things of that nature. But sometimes it's talking about future Babylon, and things of that nature. And sometimes, it's just dual prophecy. You got to have spiritual discernment on what's going on. On the one we're talking about the future Babylon. This Babylon right now is going to be multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, and things in that nature, having war. But kind of lucky, I know you had a point though. You got it.
Yeah, basically just what you were saying as well. The Lord talks about that, the multitudes in the valley decision. We also know that that main place in which a lot of stuff is going to go down is in the so-called Middle East. You know what I'm saying? In the Fertile Crescent, as some scholars would call it, right? But basically around that area, that's where a lot of attention is going to happen, man. The Lord even talks about the river Euphrates being dried up so that the way the kings of the east might be prepared. All right. So and we know that the kings of the east is just because we understand that China and Russia just made. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. With Russia, let me see if this is right. Yeah. So basically, there was an article. It's crazy, right? Let me pull this up real quick, actually. All right, because I also saw this article, basically, which talked about Russia's or China's allegiance with Russia, and how that though America criticized Russia's actions, you know how Babylon is, right? Babylon also is always is a Khan Shalom Nakamaya, right? Khan, mighty brother, Shalom, right? So you know how America always is everybody's business, man. Babylon is everywhere. Babylon has armies, you know what I'm saying, outside, basically in damn near every nation. Got a damn army base there. Why are you here? Why are you there? Right? But that's how Babylon is. But the thing is, Babylon criticizes Russia's decision to invade Ukraine. But China is like, hey, nah, it's all cool. It's all cool. We're siding with Russia. That's what China said, man. That's what China said. So China is siding with Russia. They're homies, man. So, hey, this even says China declared its Russia friendship had no limits. You know, now America says it's having second thoughts, but the relationship between Russia and China, guess what? It's not gonna fade. It's not gonna they're not gonna become enemies all of a sudden. Russia and China, guess what? China is uh, um, a communist slash capitalist, right? Kind of social. They have that's what the kind of social economic ideology that they hold. All right, a communist party. They're communist, and the ways of Russia is communist as well. I mean, they were a communist country for about damn they're over 3 decades. All right, damn 4 decades. So they were a communist country for a long time as well. So they already have that kind of relationship. They've been having that kind of relationship. And these are two major kings of the East, Russia and China, along with North Korea, Iran. They all have these treaties amongst each other. All right. So we see these kind of the multitude of people, and we understand that Russia and China, they have one of the biggest armies in the world. All right. Yeah, Babylon's army is a little big as well, but we know that China has one of the biggest and largest armies in the whole world. So there's going to be a lot of people in World War III fighting in World War III. All right. So that's why we see that the valley multitude or the valley decision in the multitudes, right? The multitudes of people, right? Khan.
I'm gonna get this precept too about China, things of that nature, man. China be playing both sides for real, man. China's like a whore. China began molested by Russia, but guess what? She be on the side, they're trying to talk with Babylon too. Just being, I don't know, man. It's a whore, man. Right? But this is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 15. Because, China and America, they do great commerce, trade and things in that nature. Every time you have something wood, like a wooden spoon, a chair, made in China, made in China, made in China. Because
Right.
America and China are known for trading, doing business together. But they, you got China and Russia kind of teaming up together. So it's like, it's confusion. What's really going on, man? So this Second Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 43. I'm going to get straight to the point. I'll start verse 43. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid. So when World War III happening, like I said, you're going to have different battlefronts. You're going to have some battles happening in different countries, in China, Russia. But it says right here, hey, these people going to go steadfastly into Babylon, man. Right? And make her afraid. And they shall come to her and besiege her. The star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up into the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her. Man, she won't get destroyed. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. Now, who is this Asia? One can be China, man. Right? China's the hope. They take hope in Babylon, man. They try to be the next so-called white man through witchcrafts, philosophies. When you look at the president or whatever it's called, emperor, I don't know what it's called. I think it's president of the Chinese people. He's wearing a suit and tie. But back then, they had their ancient garments, man. They wouldn't be the so-called white men so bad. They shake your hand, and things of that nature. They had the same customs of the same so-called white men. Technology-wise, building and architecture-wise, they trading-wise, they wouldn't be the so-called white men so bad. That's why they do a lot of trade with Babylon. That's why they're getting popped by Russia on a spiritual level, man. Because they want to be the next Babylon. Right? It reads, that are partaker of the hope of Babylon, and not the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore, saith God, when you go on down, the Lord's plaguing China, and Asia and things of that nature. So it's a precept to show you that China gonna get destroyed too. But
Khan, that's right, King. That's right. Even going to the book of Jeremiah real quick, and the Lord even says about concerning Moab, right? I'm gonna get this precept right.
You said Jeremiah or Isaiah?
Jeremiah 48 and 29. Khan, water. Yeah, Khan. Jeremiah chapter 48. I'm sorry, verse 26. It says, making him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord. So Moab, he magnifies himself against the Lord. All right, and that's a cut right there, because I even saw this article that basically talked about how in the land of Moab, which is China, how the Chinese are basically getting rid of the of Bibles, getting rid of churches, basically replacing them with the worship of the Communist Party, man. So they're worshiping Xi Jinping. You know, they want them to worship, these men instead of worshiping, what I'm saying, the people of the Bible. You know what I'm saying, the God of the Bible, right? So that's what they're doing in China. They're trying to get rid of damn, you know what I'm saying, the Bibles and all the you know what I'm saying, they're trying to get rid of the Most High, right? So they magnify themselves against the Lord. And last time I checked, the proud is going to be put down. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord said. And a haughty spirit before a fall. So all these Moabites, they come with a proud spirit. Moab is very proud, man. Because you look at his cities, and his cities just 30 years ago looked like a damn, just like a damn, like nothing, right? Nothing was there. 30 years later, you got all these damn buildings that built up. You know what I'm saying? It looks better than America, right? All this stuff. Right. Let me show, you know, let me show what Shanghai looks like, bro. I encourage brothers to look at Shanghai and just like look at how built up it is. It's amazing. Look at this, bro. Look at that, bro. I'm like, what the heck? Just like out of nowhere. Look at all these buildings. See that? Look at all of that. And Shanghai is supposedly, as of right now, the richest city in the whole world. Past New York City, past Dubai. Hey, it's the richest city in the whole world as of right now. That's what I read, man. You know, you have supposedly 26 million people live in the city, right? When I look at this, I'm like, where do you get all this, all the supplies, the men, what I'm saying, to build up the city? How long did it take? How much power do you guys have to put into that to build this up like this, man? Just out of nowhere. China used to look like it, just traditional China for so many years, you know? Like it used to look like villages. But now look at this, right? They want to exalt themselves against the Most High. They want to build skyscrapers now. In China, you have hella skyscrapers. Is that a traditional building architecture of the Chinese, man? When's the last time, or basically when you study ancient Chinese, architecture, it wasn't building skyscrapers. That's the Edomite thing, man. Because Edomites want to be high and mighty. What I'm saying? Try to feel high and mighty in the clouds, you know, because he wants to be up there with the Lord, right? Because he feel like he could be up there with the Lord and exalt himself as God, kind of look down, like because he's the eagle. He's the eagle. The eagles dwell on high. You want to look down at their prey. Yeah, I'm on the top of the building. Now you got Moabites doing that same thing, higher than Esau's buildings. You know, so it's just like how the brother brought out. Moab is kind of basically trying to be like Esau, and that's where Moab is going off at, because Esau is the wicked on the earth. Esau is the top wickedest nation upon the earth, and then second, I would have to say is Moab, man, because Moab eats dogs, right? Moabites eat dogs, they eat cats. You just skin a cat right up, man. It's nothing to him, and he'll eat it right there, and he'll feed it to you, bro. He doesn't care. He'll feed it to you. He'll eat a rat and he'll feed a rat to you, bro. If Moab can eat a dog, what you think he's serving you, Jake? You go into this Chinese restaurant in the hood, that's not chicken, bro. That is not chicken. If he has the nerve and the audacity to eat cat and to eat dog, what you think he's serving to you? These Moabites, they're proud and they exalt themselves against the Lord. They're gonna be put down, man. Come on, you got it.
Yeah. I mean, gonna do the time's sake, but Zephaniah 2 8 on down goes into that too.
Con.
Verse 10 goes to a pride, man. Very prideful, you know. But
Mm-hmm. Con. But yeah, that's right. That's right. Con.
this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord in the weeping of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Yeah, Con, to destroy the whole land. Hey, when these nations are done with Babylon, it's not gonna be anything left, man. You know, it's not gonna be anything left. You can say goodbye to Georgia. You can say goodbye to Virginia. Say goodbye to Cali, right? Hey, brother's like, man, I don't want Cali to go, right? Hey, Cali, hey, to hell with Cali, bro. You know, hey, the beaches is not that good, right? It's cool, it's straight, but guess what? We got better beaches than the Kingdom, man. Right? 1,000 more beaches better than the Kingdom, you know, or it's like you bet better than Cali, better than anything that America could give you, man. You know, because this is the land of our captivity. So so yeah, Khan. It says it's lucky. It's lucky. It says they come from a far country from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. See that? To destroy the whole land. Um, Khan, you got it. Let me find this precept though. Khan, you got it.
Yeah, the Lord has certain weapons that he kept for a time and for a season to use for his indignation and destroy, Babylon and these other countries. Don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden they used to fight with swords. Then they went to, musketeers and powder guns, gunpowder. Then you got AR-15s, pistols. Now you got ICBM missiles. The Lord slowly advanced it just for a time like this, man. The Lord already had in his mind how this place is going to get destroyed from before the even earth even began. Let me get this real quick. This book of Psalm, chapter 7. Psalm chapter 7. And I'm gonna start at verse 12. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready. Now, what's that bow? That bow and that sword is talking about the ICBM missiles. When you look at the platform, again, we have a bow and arrow. That bow launches the arrow. So the bow, the modern day bow right now is talking about is that platform that ICBM missile comes out of, it's launched from. That arrow will be the ICBM missiles, man. That's what the Lord created for the destruction of Babylon, for China, for Russia, for Africa, man, for the multitudes in the Valley of Decision. That's what
Yeah.
he created. You have something called the Satan 1, the Satan 2. You have something called the mother of all bombs, Moab, a so-called coincidence made by Moab, right? You have all these different bombs, man. They say that Russia has a bomb when it hits the earth, it sucks the wind, it sucks the wind out of you. You know how evil and mischievous you have to be to make a bomb that sucks the wind out of you, man. You have to get in touch with Satan for that, man. Right? So it's madness, man. They have all these bombs, but chiefly the Mossad put in the spirit, go ahead and make it for a time like this. But verse 13, he hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth. It says ordaineth. So it was already preordained before the war even began for ICBM missiles, nuclear missiles to take place now. It says he ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. So that's how Babylon gonna get overtaken, by ICBM missiles, jets, helicopters, but chiefly missiles, man. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, Jeremiah. Maliak. Khan,
Khan,
hey,
also,
Khan.
Khan, you got to go ahead. I want to get one more precept.
Oh, Khan. Yeah, I got a precept after you. You got it though.
All right, Khan, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 45, and it reads, Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans, man. So the Lord has counsel against countries. It's a Sanhedrin going on in the third heavens on how are we going to take out Babylon. Remember how you read in Second Kings, I believe, or is it First Kings? Let me see. I believe it's First Kings chapter 22 and verse 19. First Kings 22 and verse 19. It was a council against Ahab, man. How much more against these other countries on how we're going to destroy this place? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. But it's the point, verse 46. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations, man. You know how loud that has to be for all nations to hear the taking of Babylon? It even tells you the earth going real to and fro like a drunkard. I think that's in Isaiah 24, man. The whole earth going real to and fro like a drunkard. Because all these ICBM missiles going to hit America at once, man. Even on top of that, you're going to have chariots. You're going to have your Hawashai destroying them at once. So, hey, man, you're going to have even, Slocky, man. Can't even speak right now, man. Even when you go to Revelations as well, you're going to have, in chapter 18, you're going to have these merchants beholding, what's called Babylon getting taken. You know how scary that is, you being in the middle of the ocean and you just see a whole landmass getting destroyed. Now all of a sudden you got waves and tsunamis coming out of nowhere taking you down. You gotta actually visualize and picture this, man. The Lord's not just saying stuff to just say it, just to make it a cinematic and things of that nature. No, this is how it's going to be. Because the Lord, we get the spirit from the Most High God, man. Right? So He knows how to create a so-called movie. Everything's a movie in this thing. When we watch the movie, they have all these sound effects, they have all these props and things of that nature they use. The Most High, guess what? It's going to go down. But this book of Revelation, chapter 18. Let me see where I want to start at. Salakia. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 9. And it reads, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, man. So you're gonna have all these different nations from even in the Middle East, Europe and things of that nature. It's gonna be such a destruction. You're gonna see the smoke from all the way over there, a destruction of Babylon. That's how big of a destruction it's gonna be. I'm gonna keep going. Salakia. Verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys their merchandise anymore. And that's playing upon tables, man. But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. That's right. I got the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse number 12, right? It says, now this is also a prophecy, or basically a prophetic chapter talking about the fall of Babylon as well. All right, remember, hey, the Lord, He got many chapters, man, many verses that go into the fall of Babylon. That's how much He hates this nation, man. That's how much He hates Babylon. Got Jeremiah getting into that, got Isaiah going into that, got Joel to going into that. He got a lot of prophets going into the fall of Babylon the Great, man. He got Jeremiah, it's like John, the disciple whom Yahweh shall love. He got into that. He saw that, man. So that's crazy, right? You don't read about any other nation, right? All these prophecies of the Lord talking about the fall, right, of these other kingdoms except for Babylon. The Babylon's the top, right? But it says, because it's the wickedest nation, America. It's basically safe to say that America is the most profanest, vilest nation, what I'm saying, that ever existed in the world. Because remember, America combines all the wickedness of the nations. They take all the philosophies of the nations and they mix it together, just like how the brother brought out. So they mix it together and it's just utter confusion. Out of it is just utter confusion. That's what Babylon even means, confusion. Because this place is utter confusion, man. Crazy, right? But we don't have to get into too detailed into the kind of like how the brother said, damn melting pot. Man. It's a melting pot, right? Yeah, just utter confusion, bro. But it says verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. So America uses sorceries, right? You can even read about that in about ancient Babylon. The Lord talks about in the book of I believe the book of Ezekiel, and He looked into the liver, right? Basically using divination and sorcery, right? That's what the king of Babylon even used, man. That's what these ancient Chaldeans used, and that's what these modern day Babylonians Babylonians use. Hey, I'm also led to believe that these Edomites, for example, like, damn, what's her name, Queen Elizabeth, she uses sorcery magic, bro. How is that witch still alive? How is she still alive? She's like, damn, they're 100 years old, bro. There's no way. These Edomites don't live that long, right? Come on now. Right? The Lord said that the wicked go down speedily into the grave. Right? See these. So how is that possible? She's wicked, bro. You know, how's that possible? Right? She's using sorcery and witchcraft. Right? So there's a lot of accounts of how these Edomites dive into sorcery and witchcraft. They use it even on our people. You know, Jake's to get sucked up into the world. Right? Jake, you just get the spirit out of nowhere. You're like, wow, why is the spirit on me? Right? Because Esau just damn 24/7, calling upon Satan, bro. Try to cast spirits upon us. It's crazy. Because even going back to that, how Balak, the son of Zippor, wanted to have Balaam, who was an actual divinator. You know what I'm saying? He was an actual wizard on the left hand side. He wanted him to curse Jacob. But he says surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, though, right? But it says what? And with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. So yeah, so basically, with America, Slocky, the Lord is kind of talking this talk, right? The Lord's like, hey, yeah, take your missiles, take your jeeps, you know what I'm saying? Take your jets. And Esau, he got some stuff. Babylon got some stuff. We're not gonna lie, right? They have the technology. They have a lot of technology on the left hand side. But the Lord is like, hey, take that technology, all this stuff, this witchcraft that you have, and let's see if it's going to deliver you in the day of my judgment, man. You know? Verse 13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from the things that thou shalt come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble. So here's the point. They're going to be as stubble. Doesn't matter if you're a damn monthly prognosticator, you're a scientist on the left hand side, creating, the nuclear bombs and the missiles, right? The ICBM missiles, all this stuff. The Lord doesn't care about that. They're going to be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. What's the fire? What's the fire talking about? And the Lord said the fire shall be off sent out again. What is that fire? That thermonuclear fire, the fire from the missiles, right? They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. So you're not going to be able to deliver yourself from a missile. How are you going to deliver yourself from a nuclear missile? You see it falling. You see it falling like damn 10 miles away. That's your ass, bro. If you're not protected by the shadow of Yahweh Shah, right? you can just kiss it goodbye, bro. You see a missile just flying down, right? And you see the big light. You can just say, yeah, all right, well, I'm dead. And if you wicked, you just, hey, I'm just dead. Right? Now, if you're righteous, hey, guess what? You could be safe from that. But you're not going to be able to deliver yourself from the power of the flame. You can hop into your Hellcat. Jake, you can hop into your Hellcat. The bomb drops, hop into your Hellcat, put that baby in the highest gear, right? Right? And you pull off. Guess what? That fire is still going to catch you, bro. It's still going to catch you. There's nothing you can do about it. If a missile hits Atlanta right now, guess what? Everybody, even until where Abaya lives at, guess what? It's over. It's over, bro. Even if a missile hits San Francisco, a lot of people's going to die, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they're not going to be able to escape. You can even have a 5-hour warning, that this missile is coming. Guess what? You're still not going to be able to, prevail, right? You're still going to feel those effects. So when the Lord said they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, hey, that's true. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. So you're not, basically the Lord is talking about it's not gonna be anything left, right? And Salakia, before I pass it, Salakia, I wanted to pull up this article going into one of Putin's missiles, right? Going into one of Putin's missiles that says strike any target on Earth at 16,000 miles per hour. 16,000 miles per hour, bro. And this is talking about the Satan too. It says Russia test launched a new nuclear capable intercontinental ballistic missile. That's an ICBM missile. Russia has claimed that it can reach an unmatched 16,000 miles per hour and can deploy 10 or more warheads on each missile. Why do you think Putin is creating these missiles? Why do you think Russia is creating these missiles? You think they're just going to create it just to look at it and just be like, yeah, we created a missile that can do this much damage. They plan to use it in World War III, man. Right? It says what? That the Cermat can hit anything on Earth. See that? It can hit anything on Earth. So 16,000 miles per hour. All right, let's look at this, right? Let's look at this. San Francisco, right, to New York City. Right? That's the whole across the whole Babylon, right? That's the whole Babylon, right? It says it's 2,565 miles. That's it. That's it. From San Francisco to New York City. It's 2,906 miles. So you mean to tell me if you shot this missile, if you had this missile and you shot it from San Francisco to New York, it would arrive there in less than an hour. Less than an hour, it will already strike. That's crazy because it's going at 16,000 miles per hour. So let's even look at San Francisco to, like, for example, to Moscow, which is the capital of Russia. All right, let's look at that distance. Oh my God! All right. Right. So that's 5,865 miles. That's a lot. That's a long ass distance. But even nevertheless, if they fire this missile, it's 16,000 miles per hour. It's going at 16,000 miles per hour. So even then, it's still less than an hour. That's crazy. It's less than 30 minutes, man. If my math is correct, within 30 minutes, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So Esau, he got some stuff, man. Oh, Const, like you.
Kind of lucky too. I don't know why they even showed it like that. Russia's right there next to California. It's right there on the other side. So that's, that's quick, man. It's quick. And of course, Lord willing, the Most High protects the brother Yasserala and the brothers, or what's called California, in the Bay Area, things of that nature. But Russia's right there. I don't know why they do that. They make it seem like Russia's far away from the United States. When you look on the map, they're right next to each other. So it's going to go down, man. It's going to go down. And Russia going to destroy America. Because that's saved the Lord. The bear, you've been poking the bear for too long. The bear going to rise up against you. So, Khan.
Yeah, Khan, that is right. I'm going to share that on the screen. Just prove it out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like how the Lord said, or it's like you said, hey, Russia is not that far from America. I mean, when you look at a map like this, it's like, damn, Russia is hella far. But you go right here, I mean, Russia is hella big. So you still have, this is still part of Russia. This is still part of Russia, although nobody really lives there. But I mean, like, still, this is still part of Russia. And you have Alaska right here, which is part of technically part of Babylon, So literally, if you stood right here in Alaska, you could see Russia, That's crazy.
And so I think they say they have a bridge connected, actually.
See that?
You can just walk, drive over the bridge. I'm gonna say walk, but drive over the bridge. I think I saw that on the IG.
Yep. See that? If that's true, then that's crazy, man. So they can get into technically America, but then although Alaska is still kind of far away from where we at, in the States for real, hey, still, I'm saying, it's still. So that's crazy. It's crazy, right? Yeah, yeah, we can get back into that.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 6. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
Yeah, all hands are going to be faint, and every man's heart is going to melt, man. In that day. We're talking about the day of the Lord. Whenever we talk about the day of the Lord, or when the day of the Lord is talked about in the scriptures, not really some nice thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a day of hugs and kisses and roses and flowers and everybody holding their hands singing Kumbaya. We don't see that in the Bible. It's actually a day of darkness, day of gloominess. All right, I'm gonna get that real quick in the book of Zephaniah. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1 verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. So even the mighty man in the day of the Lord is going to cry bitterly. You have these strong men that work out 24/7. You know what I'm saying? The mighty men of valor of Esau and of Moab and of Ammon and of all these other nations, even them are going to cry bitterly, for anguish of spirit. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. It's a day of clouds and thick darkness, man. You know, that's the day of the Lord. It says what? A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. So the day of the Lord is nothing nice, right? So, Con, you got it, King.
I'll get this real quick. There's a precept in Isaiah that tells you that the men of war, they're gonna be like a sissy in that day, man. But this is because Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. So the Lord's going to come back on a cloud, which is not an actual cloud. It's a chariot, a so-called UFO, a big so-called fathership, right? And shall come into Egypt. Your modern day Egypt is America, Babylon. Babylon, or America is known as Babylon, Egypt, Assyria, Rome, Greece, you name it. That's what it's known as, right?
Yep.
And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. Who are the idols of Egypt? Go talk to Beyonce. Who worships Beyonce? All her fans. Jay-Z. That's on a low level, though. You're
Yeah.
really, hey, these elites, man. They're gonna be moved at the presence of Babylon. Your government officials, your
Yep.
delegates, your senates, and stuff like that. All these people who so-called highly exalted, when they see the most Yahweh Shah coming with the angels, man, they're gonna be like they're gonna be tucking their tails in that day, man. That's what it means when the Lord comes back. And I think it says in Isaiah 13, it says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. When you get that sudden fear, you start to get weak out of nowhere. You got kind of weak out of nowhere. Like, I don't know. That's how it's going to be, man, because there's nothing I can do. That's how they're going to be. There's nothing you can do. Like the brother said, you can't run away. You can't run away. What you going to do? Even if you try to run away, I'm led to believe you won't be able to see anything. Because I saw this one video about ICBM missiles, and this was back then, a while ago, where they were first testing nuclear missiles, atomic bombs, and stuff like that. They said it was out in the middle of the ocean, and they didn't know it was being tested. But when that atomic bomb hit and tested, they said that they even with their eyes closed, you can see your bones through your hands with your eyes closed. You can see your bones through your hand with your eyes closed. You
That,
can see your whole hand with your eyes closed. That's how bright these things are going to be. That's why the Lord tells you at the brightness of his coming. You see that?
mm,
It's going to be very bright, man. I don't think that's why I'm letting you won't be able to run and do all these different things. Yeah, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna dig a hole. I'm gonna be safe, man. Trust me. I'm gonna dig a hole. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, man. You won't be able to see, man. It's gonna be very bright. Things in that nature, man. So you can run if you want to, but the Lord, he's multiple steps ahead of you, man. So so you're calm, man. So you're calm. That's all I got. Shalak, you got it.
Con. Hey, that's right. That made me think of this precept. I'm gonna share my screen real quick in the book of Nahum, right? And the prophet Nahum, he prophesied against the fall of Nineveh, right around 612 BC. But we also see, as the brother also said, that there's also dual prophecy in the scriptures. So you have to use that spiritual eyesight to understand that the Lord, he's talking about on a firstly on the physical level, during that time, but also more so on the spiritual. All right, so let's go to the book of Nahum, because these same things that happened to Nineveh is going to happen to America. Some of the same things. But let's go to the book of Nahum, chapter 3, and verse 11. It says, "Thou also shalt be drunken, thou shalt be hid, thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first ripe figs. If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women." Hey, and the Lord said the people in the midst of thee are women. They're gonna be like women, man. And what is the Lord saying by what is the Lord implying by saying that? Basically, that they're not going to be able to deliver themselves, right? They're going to be defenseless. They're going to be faint. They're going to be afraid. right? Just like how women are portrayed in like horror movies, man. Right? It says, what? The gates of thy land shall be set wide upon us, like wide open unto thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. And always talking about the fire. Because on one level, before, these ancient kingdoms, you can even see that in and watch that in, the movie 300. When they shot those arrows, I believe it was even the Persian Empire. Who was that? Have you seen that movie?
What movie?
The movie 300.
I saw a little bit, not most.
Khan. There's a scene in there. I believe it was the king, Xerxes, the first, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, his army, there was a multitude of people, and they shot arrows, and these arrows had on the tip of it fire upon it. That fire upon it, and it kind of it killed some of the people of the Roman army, right? Yeah, kind of have to watch it again, but that's what I remember. All right, so it says the fire shall devour thy bar. So these ancient kingdoms even came with fire back in the ancient world. So if we understand that history repeats itself and things is double to that which is, and that the Lord requires that which is past, these other kingdoms, these other nations, when they destroy Babylon, they're going to come with their fire. All right. And we know that what their fire is, as we're going into right now. All right. I'm gonna go Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Hold on. Nah, actually, I'm gonna skip down to verse 17 and get to the point. All right, it says, thy crowned are as the locusts. What is the crowned going into? The princes, the mighty men. Thy crowned are as locusts. What does that mean? Let's keep going. And thy captains as the great grasshoppers, which camp in the hedges in the cold day. So the Lord is saying that the crowned, the princes, the mighty men, what I'm saying, the esteemed men, the idols, as the Lord as Abai brought out in the book of Isaiah, 19th chapter, the idols of Egypt, what I'm saying, the men that's greatly esteemed in the society. The Lord is saying that thy captains and thy crowns, or thy crown, are as locusts and grasshoppers, which camp in the hedges in the cold day. In the cold day, meaning nothing is really going on. It's the cold day. You know what I'm saying? It's the cool of the day. Nothing really is going on. Read about that in the book of Genesis, the cool of the day, right? But it says what? But when the sun ariseth, they flee away, and the place is not known where they are. So when Babylon is being overthrown, he's not gonna know where Biden is, man. He's gonna flee, right? When the bombs are dropping, a Biden's gonna be like, "Hey, peace, I'm out of here," and he's gonna go into his underground bunker, bro. The governors that you looked up to, Nancy Pelosi that you looked up to, you know, the House of Representatives, the men that's in there, the Supreme Justices, you know, the judges, the governors, the men that's highly esteemed and the women that's highly esteemed in this nation. In the day of all hell breaking loose, they're not going to be found anywhere. They're going to flee away, and that's when the sun arises. It's going into when all hell is breaking loose. The bombs dropping, the missiles, the seals opening, the trumpet is being blown. They're not going to be found anywhere. They're going to forsake the people, man. And that's what happened back then. It's going to happen again, right? So, come.
Can I appreciate one more precept real quick, touch on what you're saying. Yeah, this book of Revelation, chapter 9, I'm gonna start verse 15. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, in a day, in a month, in a year, for to slay the third part of man. Now that's four angels, not actual four angels. You got one angel, Michael. The next is Gabriel. The next Raphael. The next one, Uriel. That's not actual four angels. It's a complete amount. The same way how we scatter abroad the four corners of the earth. Same thing in this. It's not just four corners; it's all around. So this a complete amount of angels, which were prepared. So you got certain angels who are prepared to let all hell break loose, man. Right? Verse 16. Because you was going into the arrows, those what's called that's gonna back in that movie 300, and they shot all those arrows, and when you see it, those arrows covered the skies. There was a lot of arrows. And guess what? Those men got hit and they died, man. how much more of these arrows, these ICBM missiles, are going to get launched at the same time? It's going to go over Babylon, steadfastly into Babylon, because like it says in 2nd Ezra 15, and hit Babylon, man. There's nothing new under the sun. That's your modern day bow and arrow. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. Now, these horsemen aren't horsemen on a horse saying giddy up, giddy up. These horsemen are actually talking about ICBM missiles, man. And they gave you the number of them. I'm not really good at math. It says, in the number of army of the horsemen were 200,000. I think that's 200 million, is it? 200,000. Yeah, I think that's 200 million. So about 200 million missiles want to hit Babylon, right? And it reads, verse 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of the lions, and out of their mouths issue fire and smoke and brimstone. My Bible's kind of like ripped up, so it's hard to read that. But that's going into the missiles, though. That's describing the missiles that's going to hit America. But it's a point 2, verse 18. By these 3 was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths, man. So let's plan upon tables. Look, you got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the clip, but yeah, I can't find it on YouTube. So,
what you type in?
Basically 300. Movie 300. The fire arrow scene. But yeah, yeah, that's all. It's all good. It's all good. If you got the movie, just check it out yourself. But and yeah, mighty points that the brother brought out. All right, that's the modern day era. Because you have to understand that, when we read these things, it's written in an ancient mindset. It's written in the ancient mindset. John is not going to come out and say, I saw a great ICBM missile. You know what I'm saying? I saw the Satan too. He's not going to say that. So that's why the Lord said, I counsel thee by me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, right? In white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. What is that eye salve going into? The eye salve with that, basically that ability to see, and what these scriptures actually going into, man. Right? Because you might read these things, you just read it plainly, you're going to be bugged out of your mind. You read Revelation plainly, you're going to be bugged out of your mind, not knowing anything what's going on. And you're going to read Isaiah thinking that this is actually going into the actual Babylon. And we're going to further get into it. And you're going to be like, well, that never happened to Babylon. You could start, I don't know. The Bible's not real. Right? And you just close up the book and kind of throw it in the trash. Right? So we have to have that ISO. Right? Or else you're going to bug yourself out. All right? But
this book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 8, and it reads, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
Yeah, that is plain. That's kind of plain.
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
So the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. Yeah, And it's like it says to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. He said he shall destroy the sinners. You got one praise upon that. Right. That means that the men and the women. He said what?
That's why I said I think we're going to the same one, but we'll see. Look how you got this a lot.
We'll see. It's the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 24. It says, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, said the Lord. That's plain. The Lord said, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments. So, the wicked of our people, they're not going to make it in that day. All right. They're not going to make it. It's just simple as that. All right. Con, you got it.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom. So the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, which is Babylon. The same way you had in Sodom and Gomorrah, those angels are the eyes of the Lord, referring to different precepts, like 2 Chronicles 16 verse 9, and different other precepts. I'm gonna keep going. And I would destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So if you're part of the elect, the Lord's going to come back and save you, even though you probably wasn't on fire. But guess what? You still elected to be, saved in this thing, man. All the way from the mighty man of the elect to the so-called lowest man of the elect is going to be saved. Right?
Right.
Verse 10, this is the point. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So all your Gucci man, all your Jay-Z's, all your 2 Chains, your trouble man T.I., right? All the wicked people of Israel, they're going to die, man. Right? Ain't no listening to all this hip hop, man. These people who want to sell dope, want to go out and commit fornication and adultery. Even these wicked Eves, man. Erica Badu, however you say her name, man. They ain't gonna be Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. These sinners and wicked people of the Lord's people gonna be destroyed. That's Zechariah 13 verse 8. That's Romans 9 verse 6 on down. Not all Israel's of Israel, you know. So
Yeah.
kind of.
That's right. Hey, Erica Badu had that song. Man, that's a trick because I always used to hear that song when I was a little kid. I never understood it. Never understood it. But now it's like, damn. And it's the song talking about in maybe in the next life or something like that. You know what I'm saying? In the next lifetime. Basically in the lyrics, she's like, oh man, this man. Basically, she's lusting after another man, even though she's married to another one, bro. She's married to a man, but she's lusting after another man. And she's like, well, I can't because I can't be with you because I'm with a man, but you know, you know, what the hell is going on, bro? Adultery, adultery spirits out here, bro. It's crazy, right? This book is Second Ezra, chapter 8, right, and verse right, uh, 53 says the root of evil is sealed up from you. Wickedness in the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and the end, Slaki, and in the end it showed the treasure of immortality. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. So that's what is going on with our people. When they had yet taken liberty, they have a liberty to hop onto this live right now. They do. Jake with your iPhone, damn 13, 14, bro. You know what I'm saying? Jake got the iPhone 13. You know what I'm saying? Jake, he already pre-ordered the iPhone 14, right? He got the AirPods Pro 3 Plus, you know what I'm saying? And he got all that. Got the beats on, you know what I'm saying? Jake got the beats, right? He has all these things, all this technology. Eve always, like I always say too, Eve always needs to have the latest iPhone, bro. Eve always has the latest iPhone, right? I even saw that video with this Eve from New York, and she's like, I don't want to sound like a millionaire or whatever, but whenever I see a phone with a button on it, I just turn it back. Like, I don't know what to do with this phone with a button on it. I'm like, what? Jake, I mean, you think you're so high and mighty just because you had the iPhone, then whatever. 11, 12, whatever. Just because it doesn't have a button on it, bro. You know? And so, certain, I'm led to believe certain of our people might even look down on you because you have an iPhone with a button on it. Or just because you have an Android. Now they're looking down on you, right? What the you think the Lord cares about what kind of phone you got, bro? Lord doesn't give a damn about that. And the man of the Lord doesn't really give a damn about that either, right? That's neither here nor there, right? So, hey, they have liberty to hop onto the lives to get a Bible. all this money that you be making, right? You can afford a Bible, man. You know, you can afford the fringes and the meat trees, right? You can keep the commandments. You know, Khan, you got it.
I just want to say one thing. Yeah, hey, Jay will make fun of you, and he will make fun of you if you have an Android. Let's say you're in school, someone bump into you, your phone falls, and the battery comes out. The battery come out, man. They'll start joning you, man. They'll start getting on you. Let that happen nowadays too. If you had a phone and it drops and the battery come out, you will want to kill yourself probably, man. If you're not, spiritually minded, because Jake is so evil, man. They play too much. They'll start getting on you, man. Hey, I've seen it, but come on.
Yeah, say seen it. God, that's right, King. That's right. That's right. Yeah, they play too much, man. They're always harping on the things that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Oh, why you keep wearing those clothes every day? You know? Why you keep what why what's that? What's the damn carpet? Why you always wearing that carpet? Right? Jake is always concerned about the things that don't matter, man. You know, Eve too, bro. Our people just crazy, just delusional. You know, not thinking about salvation, not thinking about the precepts, not thinking about the things that actually matter. You know what I'm saying? How we got into Babylon in the first place? How come we're in the hoods in the first place, man? They don't think about these things. You know, so it's just like, right? And even Jake and Eve kind of trying to stunt on their own people. Well, you really don't have any room to do that because you're in the same level. You in the same hood, bro. What you trying to stunt on me? You live down the block, right? We in the same position. So it's like it's kind of like how oh yeah, I told the brother Masha this. I was like, Jake trying to stunt on another Jake, or even an Israelite or a Northern Kingdom Israelite trying to stunt on a Southern Kingdom Israelite, whatever, trying to boast against each other, or fight against each other. It's like a homeless man telling another homeless man that he's broke. What? Now hypocrite. It just doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. So calm. But yeah, that's our people, man. That's our people. So going back to the point, and the point is to bring all that out in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9, it says that he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So our people, they want to remain sinning, they want to live that sinful life. The Lord said in the book of First John, he that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. Meaning that if you lead that sinful life, guess what? You have Satan, man. You have Satan. So you got it, King.
This book of Isaiah, chapter 13, and verse 10.
Con.
For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Yeah, Con. So on the spiritual level, that's going into how Esau's wisdom is going to be put out. All right. So all his technology, his knowledge, his wisdom is going to be confounded in that day. All right. He's not going to know what to do. I'm going to go to precept real quick. If you got yours, you can bring it out. I still need to find mine.
Book of Isaiah. So yeah, when you read about the sun and the moon, that goes into your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding because it's light. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 19. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. So what's that saying? Is that saying the Lord's going to take away the sun and the moon forever? And he's going to be the light. He's going to be in a firmament going from the east to the west, in a constellation, that doesn't make any sense. All this talking about is you're going to have the Lord forever with you in the kingdom, righteousness, glory, and things in that nature, man. So like I was saying before, like he was saying, Salakia, the sun and the moon, Esau, his wisdom and things in that nature, it's gonna be done away with, man. Yeah. It tells you they're wise men. Let me get that real quick. Howard was asking, where's your wise men at, man? Things in that nature, man. So the Lord's gonna cause them to fumble in their doings, not know what to do. And you see that with a lot of people. They reach their peak and they start going down. Roman Empire, they reach their peak and they start falling down. Babylon reached their peak, started going down. Everybody reaches their peak. Egypt reached their peak, they go down, man. Right? But that's not going to happen with us. The Israelites, we're going to never reach our peak. It's going to be always going up in the kingdom of heaven forever and ever and ever, man. Right? We're never going to go down. Let me see. Salakia. It's going to Obadiah. Salakia. This is the book of Obadiah. It's only one chapter. I'm gonna start at verse. Let me see. In verse 8, and it reads, "Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau?" So the Lord's going to in that day make them fumble in their ways. I'm thinking of a precept that says something like that, but I can't remember. But it's going to make them stumble in his ways, not remember what to do. Their enchantments won't be working. Their wise men are going to be cut off, man. They're going to error in their ways. I think that's how it goes. They're going to error in your ways. But Khan, you got it.
Uh,
No,
Nice. Yeah, I don't know any
it's straight. It probably don't go like that there. Salakia.
I think I know like kind of what precept you're talking about, but yeah, I don't know exactly how it goes. Forgot. Yeah, I got this precept real quick in the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, and verse number 23. It says, "And the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously." So the sun and the moon, like as the brother was going into, represents your knowledge and wisdom. When you go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12, you get the woman, and basically had power over the sun and the moon, roughly paraphrasing. It's not going into the actual sun and moon. It's going into the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the glory, you know what I'm saying? The status that we had, etc. So that's what the sun and moon is going into. And when you go into the book of Revelation, chapter 22, like as a brother was bringing out, the Lord said that we don't need the light of the sun, we don't need the light of the moon, or the light of any candle. And what is that going into? That's going into the breakdowns that we have right now. You won't have to read. It's like you wouldn't have to read for 5 hours in the kingdom of heaven to get the understanding. You don't have to do that. You don't have to read, or it's like you have your notepad in the kingdom of heaven taking notes every day so that you don't forget things, or for you to increase your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You don't need that because the Lord is your light directly. Not the sun, not the moon. Because remember, the Lord is he's brighter than the sun. He's brighter than the moon. He's brighter than any light that we see. If you got ears to hear it. The Lord even talks about that in the book of Isaiah, chapter Sirach. He talks about that in Sirach, chapter 23. Right, Sirach chapter 23. And verse number 19, it says, "Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts." So the eyes of the Lord, they're 10 times brighter than the sun. So the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun. Guess what? The wisdom of the Lord that shows you, it's damn infinite, right? The Lord's wisdom is infinite. So we're gonna have that wisdom, knowledge, understanding, all right, as much as the Lord wants to bestow upon us in the kingdom of heaven. All right, because he's going to be that direct source to us. So going back to the verse, just to link that up, in Isaiah chapter 13, it says that the sun and the moon is going to be darkened. All right, and it's going forth. What does that mean? That means that Esau's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to be put out in that day. All right, you had a precept.
No, I was looking for this other precept, but it's not the Lord right now. So let's show you.
Okay,
This book of Isaiah, chapter 13, and verse 11. "And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." I will. Okay. Keep going.
It's like, yeah, I just want to touch on a quick point. When it says, "And I'll punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I'll cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." As we were going into before, guess what? Esau and these other nations, they're very, very proud. And even our people, they're proud too. The Lord, he hates pride, right? Let's go to that real quick. Sirach chapter 10. The Lord hates pride, man. He says that so many times. So many times. A man that has read the scriptures, they understand that the Lord just hates pride, man. All right, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse number 7. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. You see that? So pride is hateful before the Most High. He hates that when you're proud and boasting yourself against him, because he's going to really show you who should be proud. And you can, hey, the Lord, he's the one, the only one that could boast, the Lord, because there's nobody greater than he. He's literally the Most High. Like I tell people, he can say whatever he wants to say. Who's going to stop him? He's the Most High, right? He can do whatever pleaseth him, and he can boast in his works because he created everything. You know, he did it. Just like how you can say to somebody, or you know what I'm saying, let's say you create a game, right? You create a game, you can create it however you want. You can do whatever you want. Because guess what? You're the creator of it, right? You can shape this way, put this thing in here, make this character do this. You know, hey, guess what? You are the creator of that game, right? And all the credit goes to you. But of course, you know, the spirit get how about you have a shot. But just on a physical level, hey, same thing with the Lord. You know, he's the creator. And guess what? He can say and do whatever it pleases him. You know? So Khan, you got it, King.
Yeah, prideful it wasn't made for men to be prideful, man.
That's
This
right.
is book of Proverbs, chapter 6, and verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yeah, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look. That's the first one. A proud look, man. The Lord
Right.
hates the pride. Why do you think the Lord going to take off Esau? Look at what happened with Nebuchadnezzar. He humbled him, man. Look at what happened with Pharaoh. He got humbled. Right? All these nations get prideful and get puffed up, calling themselves the King of Kings, calling them Xerxes. He got assassinated, man. The Lord did that. He got bodied by one of his own people. The
Uh,
Lord did that, man, easily, right? Let me get another precept real quick, man. The Lord doesn't deal with pride. Even in the congregation of Israel, the Lord's not dealing with pride. If anything, don't be prideful, man. The Lord will cut that off quickly, in a quickness, man. No, Jake, Jake, if brothers can proceed, understand this and stuff like that. But Jake, they always got that, man. Hey, I hate this. I hate that. Ish, man. I hate that ish, man. It's always that one thing that gets on Jake nerve, man. And he starts saying, man, I hate that. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Most High is, man. It could be anything else. But that pride, man, the Lord, he ain't going for it, man. The Most High ain't going for it. Right?
um,
This is the book of Acts, chapter 12, and verse 21. And it reads, and upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made an oration unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, it is the voice of a God and not of a man. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not God the glory, and he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. Straight like that, man. Herod, he was alive one second, next second, he's in the spiritual world. Right, so how the Most High can come in different ways, man. That's why we always say, "Koholo Yahweh Shem Yahweh all praise to the Most High." Things of that nature. When the brother's telling you, "Man, great job out there, great job," don't be like, "Man, the water, man, I brought it out, didn't I?" Yeah, man. Yeah, one day you'll get like me. Guess what? Not all of a sudden you're having a heart attack, you holding your heart, you fall down to the knees, and now you're in the spiritual world. Things of that nature. Rather than the other brother, yeah, all praise to the Most High. Okay, that's the Lord right there, man. That's the Lord. That's why the person who's humble, he keeps getting exalted and exalted, and the prideful man, he's falling and falling. Because the beginning of pride, hey, man, it's
mhm.
destruction. But come on.
Khan, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and if you're prideful, you know, you are slowly but surely falling away from the fear of the Lord, you know, because those that fear the Lord, guess what? They're humble because they understand that the Lord is over them in authority. So they have to submit to him in everything that they say. But it's like that he says. See, a lot of Eves, they're not humble, man. They're proud too, right? They want to buck up against their husbands. They don't want to be submissive. And that's moving in a proud spirit, right? especially if the man that your husband, right? Especially if he's a man of the Lord and you're not submissive unto him, you're not listening to his words, you're not treating him like how you would serve Yahweh. Guess what? That's pride too. Because you feel like you know, I'm over you, right? That's the kind of spirit that Eve has in the world. She's running things. Eve, you don't run things, bro. The Lord said that the man is over the woman. 1 Corinthians 11:3, and in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, that unto him, Salaki, unto the woman, he said that basically the woman, her desire should be to her husband, and he shall rule over her. That's what the Lord said. Certain Eves, they can't receive that. Then they kind of throw the Bible away because they can't receive that. They're too proud to be submissive. Because when you're submissive and listen, and trust in the Lord, then you're really just kind of putting your arms up and letting things happen. You trust that this man that's over you is making the right decision, stuff like that, and etc. So that takes a certain level of humility to do that. See, that's what Eve battles with, that humility and that pride. That pride demon gets on Eve a lot, So, God, I'm gonna get this precept real quick in the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and verse number yeah. So things good, but I'm gonna get 13. It says, "For he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures, and I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man." So that's what Esau says. He always boasts in his works. He boasts in the fact that he has the children of Israel in captivity. He boasts in the fact that he controls the world and rules the world. But little does he know that it's actually the Lord that gave him all that stuff and all things. It was the Lord that gave it to him. He didn't obtain it just of himself. That's where Esau lacks to understand. See that? So Khan, yeah.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, and verse 12. I would make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir.
See that? The Lord said he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, man. That's what the Lord said. The man, and we're talking about a real man. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. It's like the first Kings chapter 2, verse 1. Trying to read that. We're talking about a real man. Not nature. Yeah, not nature boy. Not these weak effeminate men that's out here. All right. We're talking about a real man of the Lord. All right.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, and start verse 1.
Come.
Verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and shew thyself a man.
Show thyself a what?
And shew thyself a man.
Show thyself a man. Come. Keep reading.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
Con, that's right. You see that? So the Lord said, that's how you show yourself a man. That's how you show yourself strong, by keeping the charge of the Lord thy God. You see that? By keeping all his commandments, keeping his laws. That's a real man right there. Following this Bible. That's how you become a real man. So the Lord said that a man is going to be more precious than a golden Euphra. It's going to be more precious than gold in that day, in the day of all hell breaking loose. Man's going to be precious to find. Hey, who's going to bring out the classic, man? Who's going to bring out the classic? All right. And the brother's like, shh. You want to bring it out?
I got you, King.
Okay, okay, you got it.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 4, and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach.
You see that? God, you see that? And the Lord said, 7 women shall take hold of one man, right? Saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And that's in the scriptures. You can't take a black marker and just, try to delete that out there or just ignore it like the Lord didn't really say that. You know, that's in there. Now remember, 7 is the number of completion. So it could be 7, it can be less than 7, it can be more than 7. But we do know that multiple women's going to take hold on a man in that day. Because they're gonna need a man. Not these weak men, the pants hanging down to their ankles, right? Not those men, like an actual man. You know what I'm saying? That's actually gonna lead them in the way that they should go. Because they're gonna understand that all this pride that Eve comes with now, the the femininity, you know what I'm saying, the feminist movement, all this other stuff. They're gonna throw that away in that day, man. They're gonna throw that away. They're gonna want to hide under the shadow of man in that day, and it's gonna be up to the man whether or not he receives those women, because these women, they're gonna be looking bad, not bad as in good, but bad as in bad, like stinking. Damn, no weave. They're not going to have any weaves in that day, right? Eve is not going to have the bat wing eyelashes in that day, right? She's not going to have the multitude of boots, the multitude of linen cloths and the clothing. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to have that. Probably haven't showered in 3 days, right? Stinking, damn teeth all messed up, right? You know, hey, just bad, right? And it's gonna be up to, like, for example, it's gonna be up to a buyer, man. It's gonna be up to a buyer. I could, but I could not. Right? It's gonna be up to him in that day, man. Right? So, in the day of all hell breaking loose, because they're gonna see a buyer in that day. He's gonna be running through the wilderness. They're gonna run after him. They might run after him, try to take hold of him, and say the same thing, you know. And Bobby's gonna be like, shh, I don't know. And it's gonna be up to him in that day, you know. Con, you got it, King.
Yeah. Hey, when you go to the chapter before that, it goes into the judgment the Lord's put on a female, man, on a woman.
Oh, yep,
That's why they bald headed, man. That's why they don't have good hair. That's why
yep,
they have to do, certain things to look good, put makeup on. Even though we're naturally beautiful and knowing things in that nature. But the Lord really did a number on them. We always get on the men, like the Lord always get on the men and things in that nature. But hey, what about you women too? Y'all very prideful. A man tell you this, you get an attitude. Every time they can't take order. Hey, tell you to cook. Hey, you don't want to do it. You get an attitude and things in that nature. It's always an attitude. Let me get this real quick. Don't want to listen, just hard headed.
that's right.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 16. And it reads, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. And y'all be screaming and yelling in birth. Hey, that's the reason why, because y'all went off in the beginning, man.
That's
Y'all
right.
be screaming and yelling when y'all have y'all, cramps and things in that nature. Hey, when y'all start having your cramps and start yelling, hey, start thinking about what happened with Eve and what not to do, right?
That's
It
right.
says, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So your husband is made to rule over you. But no, they wouldn't be equal. She wears the suit and tie of the house. She wears the belt and things of that nature, man. While you got man who just stays home and be a house dad or something like that, man. Taking care of the kids, fixing the diapers, got that towel on his shoulder and things of that nature, cooking the food and things of that nature. Nah, man. Hey, the woman should be at home taking care of the children. The man should be putting that work in like Jacob, like Abraham, like Isaac,
That's right.
things of that nature, man. So when that day comes, hey, it's gonna be bad. Like your brother said, gonna be looking busted up. You're gonna have blood all over you. Probably your hair gonna be messed up. You're gonna be growing hair. A lot of people, hey, a lot of sisters out there gonna look like a gorilla. Probably, I'm like to believe, especially the wicked. I'll say the wicked ones. The Lord will probably preserve, the righteous sisters and stuff like that. But the wicked, females out there, I won't say a sister because you don't keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? But hey, they're gonna be looking hairy because they're always trying to get, wax and things of that nature. They're gonna be very hairy. Their eyebrows gonna be bushy. You might think it's a man, a gorilla. And things you might try to, square up with it. Things in that nature. You bobbing and weaving, and you hit it with the uppercut, and then it makes a noise, and like, oh, it's a female. All these things gonna happen in Jacob's trouble.
Right.
But back to the point though, the Lord gonna make a man, precious in that day, man. He's gonna make a man precious. And it doesn't mean about his looks and things in that nature, his spirit, because the Lord gonna set up leadership. Let me get a preacher real quick. A real man, he can lead his household. He keeps the commandments. He's on fire. He knows what he's doing. He trusts in the Most High God. He doesn't trust. So like he doesn't trust in himself. That's what the Lord's gonna make precious than fine gold. Right. That's the book of Second Address, chapter 1, and verse let me get straight to the point. Verse 39. And it reads, and unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Hoseas, Amos, and Micah, Joel, Abdias, Jonas, Nahum, and Beckett, and Zephaniah, Agus, Zachary, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord. But the point is, the Lord put certain leaders back on the earth, and they was made to lead. And who was the woman made to do? What was the woman made to do? To submit and follow the orders. Okay.
That's right. That's right. So like, yeah,
I'm gonna get another precept if you need time.
yeah, Con, you got it.
Even when you go to the law, I know the brother Narquan, he be breaking it down. Isaiah 4:1 and reads, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Hey, he said, according to the law, which is true, that will be going off because a man has to provide. It tells you in the law, if you get a wife, you have to provide for her. She shouldn't be making her own money. And you over here playing the game all day, and she's making the money. She's the one paying the rent, and y'all behind on rent. The lights off because she don't make enough. She works at I don't know what, right? The baby's crying. She comes home from a long day of work, and she got to take care of the baby. All right, let me get this real quick. Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And that's plain upon tables. But yeah, kind of.
Oh, Con, it's like you was done. Okay, Con, it's like. Right, but yeah, Con. Yeah, we can get back to that.
Right, Con. Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 13. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
Con, the Lord said he's going to shake the heavens, man, and the earth shall remove out of her place. All right, I'm gonna get a quick precept. With Isaiah chapter 24. And remember, the Lord also talks about earthquakes being in diverse places, right? Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. See that? So the Lord's going to shake the heavens and the earth, as the Lord talks about in the book of Haggai, right? He said, I'm going to shake the heavens and the earth, right? And that's scary. Just kind of imagining that. But the Lord shaking the earth. Remember with the ground, hey, here in Cali, you have a lot of earthquakes, right? You have a lot of earthquakes. And the thing is about Cali is, the Lord can shake the earth. And imagine just the earth shaking beneath you. You can't do anything, man. You can't do anything literally, but just, pray that nothing falls on you. That's really all you can do. Natural disasters hit. Remember, there's going to be natural disasters too hitting the earth. As the Lord also makes Babylon, right, or destroys Babylon in that way too. It was hurricanes, right, tornadoes, earthquakes. The Lord, He can do these things at a drop of a dime. But when the earth is shaking beneath you, you can't do anything about it. You can hop into your car, right? You can try to drive, but the earth is cracking, splitting apart like this, like how it says in the book of Numbers. The earth literally swallowing up the people. Can't do anything about that. You can't run away from it. You can't run away from the judgment of the Lord. What kind you got it?
Con. This book of Second Peter, chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Like we was going into earlier, man. It's going to be a very loud. It's going to be very loud. You might be working in a warehouse. You might hear something drop. It's loud. It's loud. That's nothing, man. You hear Jake shooting a gun. It's loud and stuff like that. No, and that day is going to really be loud,
That's right.
right? In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. I'm gonna jump down to verse 12 to get straight to the point too. Looking forward and hastening to the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Even though it's a question, but hey, it's gonna be bad in that day. But
Right. It's gonna be bad. Come.
we're gonna go back.
Yeah, come. We go back to that.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 14. And it reads, And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land.
Yeah, come. So everybody's gonna turn to their own people and flee to their own land. When these race wars and these race riots kick off, because you also read about that too. Nation shall rise against nation. Those are different nations and different nationalities of people fighting against each other, man. And so when they rise up against each other, guess what? They're going to flee everyone to his own people and flee everyone to his own land. And the Lord said it's going to be like a chase row, right? What does that mean? It shall be as a chase row. A row is going into a deer when a deer is being hunted. Right? When a row is being hunted, and it's hopping all around and running really fast. That's how these nations are going to flee to their own people. It's going to be immediately, man. They're going to flee to their own people. The Elamites with the Elamites, the Edomites with the Edomites, the Moabites with the Moabites, the Ishmaelites with the Ishmaelites. So all you jakes that want to hold hand in hand with these nations, what are you going to do in that day? You're going to go to Esau? Esau's going to dance. He's going to shoot you, bro. He's going to cast you out, right? He's not going to let you roll with them, right? Nor would these Ishmaelites do that, nor would these Moabites let you roll with them, nor these Ammonites in a day when it's every nation for itself, essentially. And that's going to happen in America. That's going to happen in Babylon. They're going to be fighting against each other, all right, in Babylon, all right. And the Lord said, "That's with what? That's with violence, right? Shall thy great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." All right, let's get that precept real quick. Revelation chapter 18 and verse number 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, "Thus with violence." Oh. Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. Don't be found anymore at all, man. But the Lord said, "Thus with violence." Right, but Kanye got it, King.
You kind of got a glimpse of that in 2020, 2021, with those race wars, things in that nature, Black Lives Matter movement. You got a glimpse of that, man. That was like a preview of what's really going to happen. And True Colors came out. Don't think True Colors didn't come out. Esau saying he's cool with so-called black people at work. He has a so-called black friend and things in that nature. Now all of a sudden, he's wearing an American flag, Confederacy on the back of his truck, and he lost friends because of that, man. In that day, you're gonna have race wars, like your brother said, and ain't no more cooning. In that day, if you cooning, you're gonna be getting lynched. That's what the spirit, the Lord gonna put a certain spirit on the earth for that. This is a book of Second Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 15, a classic. I haven't heard this precept really a lot ever since the race war stuff, if I'm gonna be honest. But Second Esdras 15 verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that matches up with Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. That matches up with that, man. You're going to have one nation of people versus one nation of people. And even chiefly Esau versus Jacob. Jacob's trouble, martial law, and things of that nature, man. You're going to have these rednecks working with martial law probably to round up niggers, so called. So,
Con, that's right. That's right. What they said, the niggers, man. Niggers. Right? Hey, the Lord even talks about in the book of Second Ezra, the Ishmaelites, they want to remember their nature, essentially. And we also know that Ishmael, he's a wild man, he's a crazy man, he's a madman, right? As the Lord talks about in the book of Genesis. So knowing that, understanding that, because sometimes you go into these gas stations, right? And Ishmael, he's kind of cool with you, right? It's like, "What's up, my brother?" You know what I'm saying? And kind of, he might give you a fist bump, whatever. He might even give you something for free, or he might, you know what I'm saying? He might, let's say you kind of short on money, you'd be like, "It's okay, whatever. This is that." Hey, Ishmael's not gonna be cool with you in that day, Jake. You know, all that love that you say that Ishmael gives to you in the gas stations and in the damn convenience stores and all this other stuff, and he's in your music videos and all this other stuff. Guess what? That all that is fake love. He's not going to show that in the day of all hell breaking loose. You know, and the Lord even said that a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. You know, it's not going to have any pity. Even your neighbor, right? The one that you helped with the lawnmower, right? You let him use your lawnmower, and he lets you use his shovel, right? Or whatever, bro. Like, whatever. Your own neighbor's not gonna have pity upon you. You see that? So that's crazy, man. Even in let me get this precept real quick. Salakia in Jeremiah chapter 9. All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse number 2. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them. So Jeremiah's like, man, I wish I could just get out of here, bro, and get from my people, because they're wicked. That's what Jeremiah was saying. For they all be adulterers and assembly of treacherous men. They were adulterers back then, and they're adulterers now. That's all Jake talks about. Committing adultery. And Eve too. That's all she talks about, committing adultery, right? It's crazy. And they bend their tongue like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. So they're not valiant for the truth. They hate the truth, you know? It says, "For they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith the Lord. Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders." So that's what Jeremiah was saying. Don't trust in in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant. So even in that day of all hell breaking loose, yeah, they might be cool with you now. That same type of coolness, the same type of love, or that same type of humility that they might show to you, that meekness, that meek spirit, is, guess what? It's not going to be the same in that day. All hell breaking loose, when their children is hungry and they're hungry, they're going to get food no matter what. So it's crazy. That's the reality of it. God, you got it, King.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 15. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
See that you have all hell breaking loose outside right now, bro. You hear that?
The car alarm going on?
Yeah.
JK
and the lick. You said what?
JK and the lick.
Nah. But yeah, God. Yeah, God, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna get this precept real quick. Just to touch on verse 15, right? It says, Joel 20, verse 26, it says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. You see that? So it's going to be ill with you that's left in the tabernacle of the Edomites. If you left in the tabernacle of the Edomites, you doing as they're doing. You're joining hand in hand to them. You might be damn sitting up at the Edomite table eating dinner with them, bro. And then all hell breaks loose. Guess what? That family that you thought you was cool with, you know what I'm saying? That's been your friends for, for years and years. Guess what? All that is going to be forgotten that day. They're going to be pointing at you. They're going to call you out, call you for what you really are or what they think you are. You know what I'm saying? Call you all this slander. They might cast you out. Hey, guess what? The Lord says it's going to go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Right? So you want to join hand in hand. The Lord said you're going to be thrust through. Right? But Khan, you got it, King.
I got a precept real quick, and I'm gonna break it down on another fold, but no, on a different level. But this 2 Kings 6:27 or 6:26, and as the king of Israel, there's a famine going on right here. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, the woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her, on the next day, give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And the reason why I brought that out, because you might get to plant it in that day with Esau, man. You might, like the brother was saying, you might be the only Eve, the only Jake with the Edomite family, right? The next thing you know, all hell break loose. You've been with them for 3 days now. No food, no water. They thirsty, they get hungry. They have a crafty council in the master's bedroom while you still in the house downstairs, probably in the living room, sitting down all proper and stuff like that to see what's about to happen. They in the master's bedroom right now upstairs, having crafty counsel saying, since how you going to do this? We're going to boil him up, we're going to cook him up. I want you, distract him, stuff like that. You might tell the daughter, I want you to get him aroused. I want you to, fill him up and everything like that. And when he starts to get on top of you, I'm gonna come back with the bat, and I'm gonna lay him out, and we're gonna cook him up and put some, bacon around him. I don't know, or you don't have rednecks beginning. And that happens, boom, that starts happening, the plan unfolds. He comes out of nowhere with a bat and knocks you out, man. And now you getting eaten, and things of that nature. So you gotta watch out for who you hanging out with. You really think that the dad of those Edomite families you're with gonna eat their kids before they eat you? But let's be real, they're gonna eat you first, man. All right, because you're not even his son, you're not his daughter. Two, you're a black person, man. That nature of hating you is going to come out. That's even in second address. It's going to come out, man. Right? Let me get that real quick. This is because second address, chapter 16 and verse 71. They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So that spirit of Esau just hating you, like Cain, is going to come out in that day, and you're going to see it, and you can't escape. Because the Lord told you not to be joining hands with your enemies, but you didn't want to listen. He told you to keep the commandments, but you didn't want to listen. So that's your lot. And Yashua, the sad thing is, that's going to be a lot of lots for real, man. It's going to be a lot of lots. I saw a video of a sister. She got lynched and hung by white people that she was hanging out with, man. That's very sad. I don't want to see that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? The Lord, He's not a man that He should lie. If you want to break the commandments, that's what you want. That's what you want to sow. That's what you want to reap. It's very sad, man. I hate when I see the so-called white man get the up on my people, man, on my brothers and sisters. I hate that. But I have one more precept in mind. Oh yeah, let me get the precept that you quoted too about Ishmael. In that day, everybody's spirit's gonna show who they really are, man. Ishmael, his spirit gonna come out being a wild man. You might be in Jacob's trouble. You frantic, you running. You just hear Allah Akbar. Then blow right behind you and blows you right up, man. Now you're in the spiritual world. Now you're in the spiritual world. Or you see him running to you with the strapped up on the chest, saying, whatever he's saying, you start running, man. Right? Of course, you the elect, you going to dust them, but
Boy.
it's gonna be crazy, man. You might see Esau got that thing on him, that sniper on him, trying to snipe at you, saying, "I hate you, nigger," and stuff like that. All hell's gonna break loose. You gotta visualize this, man. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 16. So out here. Genesis 16 and verse 11. And it reads, "And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man." So Ishmael, they're so-called Arabians. They're a wild man. They jump out the dang plane, no parachute, a bomb strapped up to them, and they think it's funny. I saw a video. I saw a video of a Ishmaelite. They have a gun. They had a gun, laughing and stuff like that, and he shot his heart out. Right? And then he started saying, what did you expect? What did you expect, man? Like, what? Like, they're just wild. That's their nature to be crazy. It's in Moab's nature to be eating weird things, man. The same way how it's in the lamb nature to be docile and stuff like that. It's in the same way how Esau is meant to hate you. That's the spirit, But that's all I got. You got it, King.
Kind Esau's nature just to be the beast and the devil upon the earth, man. Can't blame him for that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of can't blame him for that, man, because the Lord made him that way. Right. So it's like, that's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? God. But hey, this made me think of the word pandemonium. So the etymology of the word pandemonium, pan meaning all, and the late Latin demonium meaning evil spirit. So during the all hell breaking loose, it's gonna be all evil spirits. just wilding out, man. It's gonna be spirits times 10. It's gonna be like a movie, right? Like how the Lord said, let's go to the book of Amos chapter 5, verse Slakia. Let me get this precept. Isaiah 5. I mean, it's like Amos. Right, Amos 5, man. Let's go to Amos 5 and verse number 18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, to what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. And as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it?" So the day of the Lord is going to be all hell breaking loose, man. Literally all hell breaking loose. It's like you fled from a lion, and then you met a bear, then you fleeing from the bear, and then you went into the house, and you kind of like put your hand upon the wall, you're like, whew, and then the damn snake just bit you. So it's going to be like no rest in that day. All evil spirits, all demons just out there. You know what I'm saying? It says the transferred sense place of uproar and disorder. That's what these demons cause: uproar and disorder. When it's just all hell breaking loose like a riot, there's spirits. That's basically uproar. It's like basically mustering the people up. There's spirits there. That's why riots happen. The Lord puts spirits in these people to kind of get roused up. That of wild, lawless confusion. See that? That's pandemonium. All demons. That's what that word means. All demons.
I didn't even know that, man.
God, that's right. God. So, as in that day, it's gonna be all demons just let loose. Because Satan knoweth he had but a short time. So he's just gonna be like sending hella demons, man. That's why it's crazy. Day of the Lord's gonna be crazy, man.
Like, yeah, it's gonna be bad. And the thing is too, like, we actually think about it, playing your night bag, it's dark. You actually think about it, it's kind of like scary. If the Lord's not with you, man, that's scary. Just think about it. It's dark, no lights. You're in the middle of the wilderness. Then out of nowhere, you just hear a loud scream of a so-called white person just screaming for help, and that's gonna be loud. Then you just hear a chainsaw, and stuff like that. You hear screaming of her getting cut up in pieces. Then everything just dies back down and gets quiet. It was right next to you. That's scary. Like if you really think about it, I'm like, dang man, like you never know what's gonna happen in Jacob's trouble. You never know what you're gonna, see. It's gonna be demons. Like even Yasharala, you made a good point to me. The mental institutions, man. You want to talk about that too? Uh,
Oh yeah, con, yeah, that's right. When all hell breaks loose, these men in these mental institutions, man, they can be let loose. Be let loose. See these killers, you know what I'm saying? The men that's just crazy, bugged out of their mind, they can be let loose, man. You might walk into a house and this man is like, he might just be eating outside of another man. Maybe just eating the guts, like, you know, like God, you got it.
I had a dream. I had a dream actually. I actually had a dream about I was in the wilderness. It was Jacob's trouble. I opened the car door. It was blood. It was all blood in the car, like filled all the way to the top. And there was a Edomite about our age. He's just eating intestines in the car, filled with blood. I'm like he was like hungry, like he didn't have eaten a day, just eating everything he could. So you never know what you will come across, man.
That's right. Yeah, that's madness, bro. That's madness. And the Lord does talk about that cannibalism, man. He
Uh,
does talk about that. Start snatching the right hand, So God. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. God. Yeah, we go back to that though.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17.
God.
Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Yeah, so the Medes is going into the Russians, right? Because when you go into the Median Empire, the Median Empire is where Russia is right now, right? They possessed a part of Russia. So when you read it in a spirit, it's going to really into the Russian Empire. All right. So the Russians, the Lord's going to stir up the Russians against America. And the Lord's been doing that. He's been stirring up the Russians against America. All right. It says against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So there's no type of money, no type of money deal, no type of gold nor silver that America can give to Russia to kind of appease their anger and kind of, prevent Russia from bombing, you know what I'm saying, America. It's nothing that they can do at that point. You know what I'm saying? They don't want the money, they don't want anything else. They want to destroy America. So that because Russia knows that they're next up. You know what I'm saying? Russia understands that. If America goes down, Russia is next up. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to control the world for a short season, you know? Pecan.
I appreciate about that too, through spirit. It's Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation. So sometimes you have the north country, Babylon, but then you have the north country, in this context is Russia. You have to use discernment on what it's talking about. Why does it say north? You got to understand Babylon, ancient Babylon was in one place, but the north was the Medes. Like we said before, we have dual prophecy. The Medes actually took down Babylon, in 539, and things of that nature. But on a spiritual level, the Babylon is America, Russia, like the brother said, would be the Medes and things of that nature. But it says, for out of the north, which is Russia, there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. So the Lord stirring of the spirit of the Medes, which is, I'm going to get that precept too, to go against Babylon, man, which is Russia. As you can see with Russia and Ukraine, NATO's getting involved, Poland's talking this talk, China's slicking and getting involved with Russia. Now America's doing too much, giving arms, giving aid to them. All hell is about to break loose, man. The Lord's moving spiritual chess pieces around, right? But this is Jeremiah 51 and verse 11. It reads, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. You see that? So the Lord stirring up the spirits of the Medes and Russians, Putin, and all his, delegates and things in that nature to go against Babylon, man. Russia hates Babylon. I had a math teacher. She always say, put your books bags in the front of the class. Her Russian accent. had a Russian Russian math a Russian math teacher. She hates America, man. She makes slick jokes. You Americans, things like that.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like, hey man, all
hey,
right, all right.
uh,
Yeah, man. Yeah, she hates America. Like she knows that America isn't good, man. She knows Russia is better, right? So yeah,
yep.
the Lord stirred up the spirit of Russians to go against America to destroy them. You know, but kind of it's lucky. It's lucky. I do got one more precept, I think.
Con, you got it.
Even when you go to second address, which one I want? I think I want chapter 11. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. I mean, I'll read it still. Second address 11 and verse. Let me see. In verse 33. And after this, I beheld, and lo, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. So you have three heads. You have the EU, you have America, and you have Russia. Those are the three heads in Second Esdras chapter 11. But it tells you right here that the head in the middle, which is the United States, America, it appeared no more, because remember, it tells you in Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16 that the EU would destroy America, the 10 horns, and things in that nature. Even Russia would destroy that, right? And then tells you keep going. But there remained the two heads, which also in like sort ruled upon the earth and over those that dwelt therein. Like the brother said, Russia will take that next seat, the power seat, and rule for a very, 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 very short time. But kind of just a chronological order. Kind of like
Con, that's right. That's right. Like the I had this clip. I had this clip. Basically, hey, this man, Khrushchev, right? Khrushchev. He was a basically a communist leader during 1959 under the Soviet Union, or in the Soviet Union rather. And he actually understood. I'm just trying to find the part, but he actually understood that America is going to be destroyed by Russia. He literally said that, man. He referred even to Gog and Magog, if I'm not mistaken. He referred to those prophecies, you know. So, hey, these elites, they actually know certain things, right? They actually know certain things. I'm just trying to find a part, man. I don't know if it's in this video, you know. I thought it was in this video, but it Lord willing, I can find it some other time, but they actually know what's going on. All right, some of them. All right, but I got this precept, Isaiah chapter 21 and verse 2. It says, "A grievous vision is declared unto me. The treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously, and the spoiler spoileth. Go up, O Elam, besiege, O Media. All the sign thereof have I made to cease." See that? So the Lord again is saying to Media, right, to go up and to basically destroy Babylon, you know. And we know who Media is, the Medes, right? We know who Media is or represents on a spiritual level nowadays. Talking about Russia, right? So Khan, and as a brother brought out, the North Country, or the people that come from the North. So like, Khan, yeah, we can go back to
Isaiah 13 and verse 18. And it reads, "Their bows also shall dash the young man to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children."
Yeah, so it's gonna be all hell breaking loose, man. They're not gonna. That's crazy. Because when you drop, like, let's say you drop an atomic bomb or you drop a bomb, you're not just killing men. No, you're killing men, women, children, old, young. You don't care, man. You don't give a damn. So Esau in that day, like how Bayer brought out, it's gonna show his true colors, you know. And as the Lord teaches us in the book of Sirach, chapter 12, thou will know that what his rest have not altogether, gone away. roughly paraphrase. You're going to know the wickedness of Esau on that day, Jake. You don't really know how buddy you are, right, with this man. Okay.
Verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, so, and here's a key indicator to show you that there are multiple Babylons, or basically there Babylon is on a twofold level. I'll put it like that, right? Although, yes, you did have an ancient Babylon, you also have a modern day Babylon, as he said in the beginning of the video. And so when it says Babylon, Slaki, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It's going to be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, how did the Most High overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? Let's get that precept real quick. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 19. Last time I checked, the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah with fire and brimstone from the heavens. Let's get that precept. Isaiah, Slaki, Jeremiah, Slaki. Genesis chapter 19 and verse number 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain. And behold, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. You see that? Oh, Slaki, I'm going to read verse 24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah, and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. So the Lord rained fire and brimstone down, all right, upon Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities thereof. But is that how Babylon fell? Nah, that's not how Babylon fell, actually. Babylon fell, right? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's see if Babylon fell like that. The fall of Babylon denotes the end of the Neo-Babylonian Empire after it was conquered by the Achaemenid Empire in 539 BC under Cyrus II, right? So that's how Babylon fell. It was conquered by the Achaemenid Empire. Cyrus II came in and he conquered it, man. But it wasn't fire and brimstone from heaven. That's not how the Lord overthrew it, you know? So this is talking about an actual Babylon the Great, because we understand that the Lord is going to overthrow Babylon the Great with fire and brimstone from heaven. All right, so Connie got the king.
Kind of appreciate on that too. You know, like your brother said, these are ways you can prove that there's more than one Babylon. It tells you that this Babylon you won't be able to ever inhabit it anymore, man. But you can go back over there in the land of Shinar. You can go over there in the land of Iraq and things of that nature and see ancient artifacts of Neo Babylon. You can still go over there and live over there, man. But it tells you that this Babylon you won't be able to live over there. But this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 39. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, as God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. You see that? So, that's playing upon tables.
Yeah, Con, that's right. And that's in the next verse. So yeah, let's read that real quick.
Let's speak of Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there.
Yeah, Cons, just like how the brother brought out, it's not going to be inhabited any longer. So this, man, we understand that according to biblical prophecy, when America is destroyed, America's not going to be inhabited anymore. All right, it's going to be a desolate land. And I'm gonna get this precept real quick, just to link up with that as well. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse number actually, let's keep reading actually.
Verse 21.
Huh.
But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
Gone. So I got a precept for that. Isaiah 34 and verse 10. It shall not quench, it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. The cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. Emptiness. See how the Lord speaks in the book of Isaiah. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof. And there shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, and the shriek owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. See that? So basically, the Lord is just talking about how desolate Babylon's going to be after its desolation, or it's like after its destruction. It's not going to be habited anymore. We understand this is really a cold hitter right here, because it's like as the brother said, you can literally visit the ruins of Babylon, and people have gone there. So what does the Lord mean? It should never be inhabited. I mean, you can literally go over there, man. People still live in Iraq. People still live in these certain cities that the Lord speaks about, man. You know, so it's not talking about that ancient Babylon. It's talking about Babylon the Great. Come
Beautiful point, King. Isaiah 13 and verse 22. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
Bahashimo Masha.
Okay,
Khan, that's right, that's right. So, hey, her days are not going to be prolonged, man. Her judgment is coming swiftly. All right, so Khan, that's all praises. But yeah, at this time we can bring our closing precepts. Has been the Isaiah 13 breakdown to the spirit. You know, a lot of prophecy, a lot of information gone out to the spirit. Probably Yahweh Shah, man. So yeah,
Book of John, chapter 13, and verse 34. And it reads, A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. So we should be loving one another as the Lord loved us, by keeping the commandments, checking in on brothers, man, and really confessing our faults to one another, praying for one another, fasting for and with each other. And it's really, what's it called? Carrying each other's burdens, man. Like it says in Galatians 6 and verse 2. If I'm down, Lord willing, this brother can help me get up. If this brother's so-called down, Lord willing, I can help him get up. If we're both down, we can help each other get up. We all in this together. We're all in the same boat. Ain't no stunning on people, because we're all the same people, man. We're in captivity together. Verse 35.
that's right.
By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you have love one to another. So you want to know how you a disciple of the Most High God and Yahushua? Love one another, man. You have Islam saying, that's the true religion, but you still have Muslims, Sunni Muslims in the hoods shooting down one another with an orange beard on. He don't love his brother, man. Right? You have Christians still doing crack and selling crack to one another. He goes to church with his grandma on Sunday. Then Monday, then Friday, and Saturday, he's selling crack and weed. He's selling to the pastor, man. That doesn't mean anything. But brothers with fringes on, who actually in truth and sincerity, they keeping the commandments, man. And you love your brother. That's how you know you're a disciple of the Most High God. But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. That's right. Beautiful points, man. To the spirit, Khan, that's right. I got two precepts. I got two precepts. All right, let's go to the book of John, chapter 21 and verse 15. So when they had done, Yahweh said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. He saith to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he had said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahweh saith unto him, Feed my sheep. Plain, man. Feed the sheep. The Lord gave you the knowledge. What are you going to do with it, man? Just going to hide it under the stone for it to be lost? You know? You're going to be like that one servant that hid his talent, so that when the Lord comes, he can utterly destroy you and cast you out to the wicked, with the wicked to for your destruction. Like, man, not so. God forbid. So always think about that precept. You don't want to hide your talent. You don't want to hide the gifts that the Lord has given you, because the Lord has given every man, every woman this truth, a certain measure of faith. As the Lord talks about in the book of Romans, right? So we must serve the Lord according to our measure of faith and with the ability that the Lord has given us, man, right? And to feed his sheep. That's how we know that we love the Lord, right? And this is the last precept. This is the book of John, chapter 12, and verse number 25. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. If any man serve me, let him follow me, and where I am, there shall also my servant be. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor. The Lord said, if any man serve me, him will my Father honor. What honor is that? What glory is that? Can't even comprehend that. The Father himself, the Most High God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, honoring you. See that? And we want that honor, man. We want that glory. And we're going to receive such, Lord willing, in the kingdom of heaven. All right, so with that, all praise to Yahweh. But man. Kindness, brother Yash Olive.
Brother Abaya.
Come back to yet another video to the Spirit Power Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shah, Lord willing, is edifying. The water for all that's tuning in. Shalom. Come, Yahweh. Come.